Hello and welcome to Team Fortress TV. This is your smooth talking, straight shooting host, Admirable. I'm joined by kaidus today. We got DavidTheWin on camera. We're here for the ETF2L Season 21, powered by TT Esports Premiership Week 1 fixture between Danger Dogs by TF2Pickup.net and The Last Resort. It's going to be Badlands and it's going to be Snakewater. What are you feeling about this one, Kilo?
I think this is going to be a really interesting game, actually. I mean, it could go kind of one of two ways. We might see a really kind of fast, like 5-0, 5-0 style game, or we might see something like really close that actually gives us a really good impression of kind of what to expect this season. Because we're kind of looking at, I think, kind of the two teams that really stand a good chance of being like the two stories of the season. Like you have TLR, the upper end of the tables most likely, and the big question is how are they going to do and like what potential will they reach? And for Dogs, like I kind of see them as the team with kind of the most to gain from this season. Like, you know, they're a real team. They're not one of these kind of mixes thrown together to have a blast at Prem and see how they do. They're like a group of guys that have played together for quite a while. They've brought in Kratos for this season, who's, I think, brought a lot of stability to them and is really going to help them take this step. And yeah, I think we might see a really interesting game. Dogs have kind of been a bit inconsistent in the preseason. It's kind of two versions of them that we tend to see. Sometimes we're seeing the Dogs that can really contend with the top three. They can have like really close games, like I've experienced it with Reason, and I know that TLR have experienced some close practice games with Dogs. But then on other days they show up and get 5-0'd in 5 minutes, so I've got my fingers crossed. I hope the occasion doesn't get to them too much because it is their first game in Prem. I think for a lot of people here, I think only really Sheepy and Kraus have played there before. So yeah, I'm hopeful.
Just looking at the betting right now on saloon.tf, and the public have voted 81% in favour of The Last Resort, and 19% of bettors want to put their money behind Danger Dogs. So that's a fairly juicy reward if Danger Dogs can cause a little bit of an upset here. But on paper, you would definitely have to favour that Last Resort roster, but they have had some changes, like with Shadowburn just coming in, which is obviously going to be really beneficial for the team in the long run. But how do you feel that TLR are performing as of this week? What are your results like against them?
I can only remember the one time we played them this week, and they were missing Serotonin. He had some issues, so they had a medic merc. I think they had Grabber in actually, and we got a pretty like comfortable kind of win over them. But I think the medic merc for them made a bit of a difference. But I don't know, TLR, they're a team, from what I've seen so far, they're a team with really strong mid-fights. Like, they do a lot of, like, double soldier aggression. It's quite well coordinated and kind of the typical, like, his style of play. He's kind of done this for years and years and years. He's always had, like, the double soldier aggression. And with AMS and Shadowburn, like, it's probably the highest, like, skill level he's had in soldiers to kind of do this playstyle with. So kind of what we're seeing is, like, really strong mid-fights from them. But then, because they do play, like, this kind of aggressive style, I think they still need kind of time to tailor it. And kind of in the transitional areas, they need kind of, you know, everyone to learn how to play together and things like that. At the moment, we kind of see, like when Hiss has good vision and Hiss can call the plays like play by play, they're really tight and really collected like unit. But I think like, I mean, I seem to remember I've been watching Hiss's stream. That's why I've heard of like watching Hiss's stream. Like people like AMS and that they're trying to like take the initiative and you know coordinate this playstyle when they have the vision and Hiss doesn't. But it's going to take time, I think, for everyone to kind of see things the way Hiss sees them, if you know what I mean. But so yeah, that's kind of like my opinion on them, basically, from what I've seen so far.
That was something that was sort of indicative of AMS whenever he was playing with BK, in that he needed to be guided a little bit in a lot of situations, and maybe the more experienced pockets exploit that. Like they see AMS as your sort of aim-centric pocket, like a poor man's captain. I'm not saying he can't make any decisions on his own, but in those like critical 50-50 scenarios, I think last season at least, and the previous season, he has been sort of building up his game sense, if you will. But at least he's got Heist here as sort of like training wins, if you will. But do you feel like TLR are too dependent on Heist is called?
I think at the moment they might be. I mean, they play this aggressive style. Like they'll chase fights, and sometimes it's like, you know, you have the right to chase them, and other times maybe not. And it kind of comes back to this thing of like having like Hiss's vision on things. But like I say, I mean, I have seen instances where people like AMS, they're trying to kind of convey when they have the right site to make calls, they are like, taking initiative to make these calls in the kind of like in accordance with what HIS has outlined for them, or so I'm assuming. But like I say, I think it's going to take a little bit of time for them to recognize the situations to, with the same level of insight that kind of HIS offers them. So for now, I think they're a bit dependent, maybe a little bit dependent on HIS, but only a little bit. I think the right ideas are there and the right attitude is there, and I think tonight's like I say, it's going to be really, really interesting to see kind of how this all comes together. Because when PCWs are PCWs, I mean, kind of you're going to learn a lot more about TLR watching them tonight than I've learned playing them in practice games. Because I mean, we don't really know how they're going to approach, the situations you only come across in matches. Like, you don't come across like the stalemate between third and second, for example, on Snakewater. You don't really come across this horrible stalemate in PCW. Someone will just do something, and something's going to happen because that guy did something. People don't really like to stand around and play these situations just in practice games. But that's what I mean. Like tonight, we'll see how they're going to approach these moments, and it might help them. It might help them to slow down in some of these moments because they do play very aggressive. Like, they're really 50-50 team a lot of the time. Like, they will commit really hard when I think, from my perspective, playing against them, they shouldn't be committing. But then other times they'll commit and it'll be really well executed and really well timed and just like the perfect commit to make, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting.
You're telling me that a team with Heist in it is very aggressive?
Yeah, really. Like, not necessarily, not like all the time, not like.
But
stupid.
When they go, they go.
Yeah, like when they go, they commit. They really do commit hard. Like, if they're pushing mid, like they have uber advantage and they're pushing mid and you kind of back out of mid, like if you kind of stand there and kind of wait to see what they do, it might just be too late. Like, they will push hard if they see you kind of chilling close to the choke and they know they have these overheals left over from the Uber and like, you don't have your overheals because you took damage backing out of the mid or something like this. They really will commit hard. And I mean, a big part of this is probably the play style of someone like the flank players, like Nico and AMS likes to get aggressive and things like this. I think HIS has taken this on board and he's trying to not only just like inflict his idea of the game on his team, but also take into account what his team's strengths are. So when they do go, they go. But like I say, we're not going to see when they choose to go. Like, I haven't seen when are they going to choose to go and when are they not going to choose to go for real, because it's all practice up till now. And teams are a lot more, they take more risks in practice games, so you don't really know what their opinions are on some of these situations, and we're going to learn that tonight together.
Sorry, I'm just discussing the server with the last resort. We did decide to go live before the server was actually set up. Usually that's why we're delayed when starting, but I knew kaidus would have so much insight that we could keep things entertaining. I want to hear your thoughts on dogs. I mean, obviously we could talk all day about TLR because they're being billed as contenders for the playoffs, but a lot of people who just follow the cast or whatever won't be too aware of Danger Dogs. Tell me a little bit about their story. Give me a sort of a breakdown of the roster, kaidus.
Well, Danger Dogs, they played high last season. They did pretty well. I think maybe they were a bit disappointed not to make... I don't think they made playoffs in the end. They didn't make the top 4. I think that was how the playoffs went. But they were kind of my main argument for why the high playoffs should have been bigger than they were, because the fact that Dogs weren't in there shows there was enough quality in that division to kind of have interesting top 8 kind of playoff system going on. And so now they're in Prem this season for one reason or another. I didn't really follow the off-season division dramas, but they've picked up Kraus, which is kind of quite a big thing for them, I think. Like, I watched a bit of Alfie's stream. He's been streaming his Roma perspective of their PCWs, and Kraus has brought something to that team that is going to be so essential for them this season. He's like he's main calling, and Kraus main calls in a way like some people call it, like, I don't know, a bit passive, a bit of a passive play style, a bit not afraid, but quite conservative. But I think for a team just kind of playing their first season in Prem and kind of learning the ropes and kind of trying to up their game style to upping their gameplay to this new level, I think it's going to be really helpful because he does have a very like calming presence. Like, he comes in a very clear manner, and he's got quite a lot of quite a good read on the game a lot of the times, and he sets them up well. Like on mids, it's going to be kind of a clash of styles, I think, on the mids, because they tend to play quite clumped up. Like, they'll block up with both the scouts kind of passive. Like, Alfie will go in, and the soldiers are kind of disposable in the same way as TLR, but you'll see it's a lot more conservative than the way TLR are approaching it. I think the big deciding factor for Dogs tonight is going to be the mids, especially on Badlands. If they're not having good mids, or even if they're not able to cope with TLR's aggression, then they're going to have a really bad time on Badlands, potentially. Snakewater, not so much. I mean, we've played games against TLR where they won literally every single mid in the game, but then lost 4-1 or something like this. So, so on Snakewater, the mids aren't going to be so important. It'll be important for Kraus to stay alive, but like I say, that's kind of going to be one of his strengths. One of the team's strengths is Kraus's not the kind of player to stay to the bitter end and things like this. For dogs, I guess the strengths, if we just go over the strengths real quick. As Admirable times out of mumble, so I'll just keep going. Spudd is probably the upcoming demo for me of the season. I know a lot of people have been talking about Kuna, who's like an exceptional individual player, but Spudd is like, I think he's the complete package basically. He's not there yet, but he has kind of everything going for him. He's got like really solid skill, but also like I feel like he's a bit more in tune with the overall game than we normally see for demos just kind of playing their first season in Prem. The soldiers are potentially their like the weak link if you wanted to highlight one. Their DM, the DM is definitely not up to scratch with like, for example, AMS and Shadowburn, who are kind of very, very strong like individual players, like especially Shadowburn. I think it's kind of impossible to refute that Shadowburn probably has the best mechanics of any soldier currently playing, especially now, well, at least now that Mike's taking some time out or quitting or whatever.
He's dead to me.
But yeah, the scouts, like Sheepy's one of the ones who's actually been in Prem before, so he's going to be fine. Like he's a strong DM player. And I think he's probably quite well suited to this team. I remember watching him play in Planet Express, and it was always kind of witnessing the same situation with Planet Express. Was everyone's dead, but then Sheepy and Haffy Cool as it was back then, just cleaning everything up. I think this works quite well for dogs. And Scrab is kind of a bit more of an unknown quantity. The only time I've really seen him before this preseason was he had a very, very brief stint trialing with the original Suave lineup or whatever they were called right from the get-go. I don't remember, back when Ibs was actually playing. They tried him before they eventually took Sam, and he looked quite promising. Like he's got quite strong skill, but he's a bit of an unknown quantity for me. I don't know a whole lot about Scrab.
The STV I set up is not working. What's going on here, kaidus?
Bummer, I don't know.
Keep talking, man. I will fix this shit.
So the maps, we're looking at Badlands and Snakewater tonight. What to look for on the mids, I guess. We'll talk about that. On Badlands, like I said before, TLR are playing a very typical his style of jumping both soldiers. Like they take early control of the train. And they kind of do this. They do this no matter like what happens, really. At least it seems to me so far. Like I say, there's so much more depth to things when you're actually looking at a real match, like a league game rather than practice games. But for me, they have a very single-minded approach to the mids. They're gonna jump both of these soldiers, and it's about like, if the mids aren't working, then in their mind it's how can we adapt these two soldiers jumping? How can we adapt the timings and positioning of these jumps rather than, you know, okay, let's play with passive soldiers or let's delay, or well, not delay, but they basically keep this approach for the duration of the game. And they try to, you know, they vary their mids by varying how these two soldiers play and what Nico does as well. For dogs, like I say, it's quite the complete opposite. They're going to try and basically stay back and deal with these two soldiers before they're actually doing a whole lot else. Like Alfie will go. Alfie will be kind of alone a lot of the time. His stats are probably not going to be very impressive. So if you have Alfie on your fantasy team, probably going to be in for a rough ride tonight. But yeah, it's all going to come down to basically how dogs can handle these two soldiers on the mids. And it's basically the same story on Snakewater. But the difference with Snakewater is it doesn't really matter so much. The mids aren't quite such a crucial part. The last is a lot easier to defend, and if you're getting wiped, it's easier to get your medic out and things like this. So yeah, those are the mids. That's the game tonight. If I had to highlight a player to watch or players to watch from each team, I think for dogs, it's probably going to be Spudd. I pick him as kind of their strongest player. We've had a lot of games with Spudd where even though they were kind of getting rolled, his stats were still very, very impressive. And I'm not really one to just look at stats on their own, but like Spud stats tend to convert to actual like real impact in the game rather than just being damage that he's accumulating on the scoreboard. On the other side of things, for TLR, I don't know, my one to watch is, I don't know, Shadowburn, I guess. Not because I think Shadowburn is such a crucial part of the team, but just because it's going to be really interesting to see how Shadowburn's doing. Shadowburn is kind of in a category of his own, where he's a really strong player that's been in Prem for a long time, but he's never really been on a team that kind of matches his talent, I guess. He's been on these teams with Russian players, and they've done okay, like some of them better than others, but a player with Shadowburn's skill, you never really are going to see the most of him or see exactly what he's capable of until he's surrounded by a team of at least similarly talented players, or at least with the right mindset, you know, to go to the top. And it's the first time Shadowburn's had that. It's going to be interesting to see how he's doing. From my impression, it's going to take some time. like I say, he has kind of been in these teams where he's just essentially had the right to do whatever he wants, like, because he's so talented, and the team was not really up to his level. At least, not all the players were up to his level. So in the past, he just kind of could do whatever he wants, and no one's really going to complain because he's just the best player on the team. Whereas now, while he's still probably the most individually talented player on that team, he's one cog in a much bigger system now. So it'll be interesting to see how he makes this adjustment, and I think it's going to take some time. Kind of likewise for Nico as well. He he's also a player who was for a while the kind of the biggest fish in a small pond in eShock, like by far the most talented player, and now again he's one cog in the TLR system. He's kind of got to do his job rather than just run around and get kills and be a carry. He actually has to do a job, like according to how Hiss has like outlined it for everyone. So it's going to be interesting. So Nico and Shadowburn for TLR, and Spudd, and let's just say Spudd and Scrab for dogs, just because I don't really know much about Scrab. So it'll be interesting to see how he does. How is the STV coming?
I think Scrab's going to produce the business tonight. He's going to have a solid debut. I'm having trouble connecting to this STV because there are two fucking Muppets connected to the actual server STV, and it's full. So if your name is Nevo or Monkey, please get the fuck out of STV.
I think I know Monkey. Maybe I can message him.
But you know, security is lax. That's all I'm saying. The server has been compromised. We have the right details. We're trying to connect our relay, but we can't do it. Maybe TLR can just kick these guys from their STV. We can get things underway. Kaidus, you've been doing a stand-up job of filling airtime. This is why I usually just don't go live until the server's been set up and everything. But we will be getting underway soon. This is going to be the last game of week 1, but that does mean, thankfully, that as of week 2, we will be having the return of Gentleman John's cumulative seasonal stats. I hope you're ready, John. But we'll actually have some numbers to work with once we got this first week of games out of the way. There's probably going to be 4 more casts coming up next week as well. I'm not saying we're going to cast every game throughout the whole season, but people have stepped up. It's looking keen. There's going to be a game Wednesday, 2 on Thursday, and another one this time next week on Sunday.
That Sunday one's probably going to be moved to Tuesday.
Oh, really?
Most likely. It's my game. 425 asked if we can play it Tuesday, and it's looking like we probably will.
Gonna have to scramble then. There's no one in STV right now. Let me try and make this thing work one more time.
I almost connected. Thought it was a good idea. To retake the spot that becomes available.
This is the point where we find out that there's some other issue that's stopping the relay from connecting, but there are at least 2 slots available now on the server STV. That means that we could have either me and you and have no stream for David, or David and one of us. But it's all going to work out, I trust.
Taking a look at some of the logs from the warm-up games these teams have been playing. I did watch the TLR warm-up, and they won pretty convincingly against 425. And I'm just looking at dogs, their warm-up logs. Like I said before, there is 2 versions of dogs that we might see tonight. The really competitive version that can compete with the kind of the top 3, or not compete directly with them, but give them a real run for their money and make things hard for them, dig their feet in, as so it is. But looking at the logs of their warm-ups, we might be seeing the other version, which is the version that gets 5-0'd by TLR, as they were struggling quite a lot against Fenix. Fenix, who are no whipping boys themselves, as I learned the other day, but 5-3 to Fenix on Badlands and 3-2 to Fenix on the Snake War, which is probably not the warm-up they were dreaming of. But I still believe.
Good news, my friend. The STV says it's connected. I'm trying to connect to it right now.
So much hype.
It's working, baby. Jackpot. I've told the teams to erupt, and we'll just do a quick roster rundown then. This is going to be TLR playing in the blue. You got Nico and Hair P on Scout. Amps is going to be playing Pocket. Shadowburn on Roamer. Heist will be playing Demo Man, and we'll have a Serotonin on Medic. Then on the dogs, side, it's going to be Scrab and Sheepy on Scout, Alfie playing Roamer, Nation on Pocket, Spudd on Demo, and Kratos on Medic. Things are finally going to get underway, Jason. I'm going to ask you for your prediction on Badlands.
On Badlands, I'm gonna go with my head rather than my heart, and I'm gonna say 6-1 to TLR. I want to believe in dogs. Like I say, they can do better than that if they compose themselves in the right way for tonight's occasion. They can do better than that, but I think the smart money goes on a pretty convincing TLR win for Badlands at least.
I'm gonna echo you, but I'm gonna up the ante a little bit. I'm gonna say 7-2 TLR. I think it's gonna be action packed, and perhaps look to snake water for the upset when things get slowed down a little bit. But I feel like TLR could be just too much here. I'm hoping to see them play this aggressive style you've talked about, but I also want to see a big performance from Scrab. I think this is his Premiership debut, so no pressure, buddy. Do you feel nervous when you're playing live on stream, Kato?
I play live on stream pretty much every time I play these days, so not so much. But
back in the day, though, think back to your debut.
Well, on my
Back
debut,
on Brigade.
that's so many years ago. Probably not, because I had the likes of X-Fane and Miralyn to carry me through it. But sure, I would have been if I was like a team fresh out of high. So what is interesting to note is that sorry to cut you off. I was just checking Saloon.tf. The betting is actually spread betting, so I think all dogs need to do is take a golden cab win rather than winning outright to get, just for those that are betting out there. But we are going live.
Hell yeah! This is Team Fortress TV. We're here for the ETF2L Season 21, powered by TT Esports Premiership Week 1 fixture between Danger Dogs by TF2Pickup.net and The Last Resort. I'm going to check out at Shadowburn perspective as he comes flying in onto middle. He's putting down one rocket onto the demo one, but he has to drop off. He's only on 1 health underneath the bridge, but meanwhile his team are able to move forward on that distraction as dogs get pushed back into their own house. TLR tried to close the distance, but it's turned into a 5-on-5 here with Heist going down. Alfie getting that damage in, Spudd getting the frag onto Heist, but there's Serotonin going in, so TLR are looking scrappy here. Shadowburn's trying to jump in, but dogs have set up camp on the point. They do know that Nako's behind, but wow, what exactly went wrong for TLR there, Kaidus?
I think, this is a really common play they do on mids, like the Shadowburn really fast rollout. There's something I forgot to mention at the beginning. He does this fast rollout where he surfs like the canyon in Valley. Normally, when he gets such a setup like that, he'll take down the demo and actually generate an advantage for his team. But on this occasion, he only connected 1 rocket, and like you say, went down to 1 HP. So from then on out, it was kind of up to AMS to kind of make up for the shortcomings there, and he just couldn't do it. His got crushed on the point. Shadowburn not able to do enough really early on the mid.
I must remind myself, and you as well, that we do have both teams in Mumble tonight, so team comms aplenty. Currently, I'm checking out Danger Dogs moving forward. They're going to send both scouts up onto that spire. Heist is already dead at his sticky trap, and they're just trying to see who wants to contest them, and it's going to be Shadowburn, but Sheepy and Nation combining to gun him down. That threat has been eliminated, and TLR seem to have bought enough time to get their own charge up, but they have had to sacrifice both middle and spire, and now we're going to see the defense coming up. So let's hear the Danger Dog comms. In fact, they're
Single
all
right?
Super. Yeah, single Uber. Check
Come on.
this.
Yeah,
Pyro.
This is gonna be right back.
No.
He didn't everything, we need to go back. Did they pop?
Okay, come back.
No.
No, they didn't.
I need ammo. Could be a scout behind still.
Say left belt, let's try and make them pop.
They're going main, they're going main.
Okay, come out.
I have no ammo.
I'm so.
I'm going to switch it to the TLR comms.
Let's go trash.
Oh, Scott Spire.
We're moving trash.
Where are you at, guys?
Gotta go
So that, Trash. So that.
Let's go now. We burned them, sir.
Scott,
Take
go
a
main
headshot.
plus.
Let's go.
Main plus.
I'm stacking.
Yeah.
Wait.
Sorry, jumping.
Stay on the point. Stay on the point.
Scout
Scout.
last.
Are we getting it?
I'm dead.
No.
Fuck, you
Oh,
caught
oh.
the pipe, man. What the fuck?
Demo behind.
Scout in main behind
Demo
us,
behind on
guys.
stone.
Yes, sir. Scout's in front. We should back maybe.
Scout.
Scout 200. He's dead.
Nice.
I'm gonna block it.
Okay, I'm in this.
Bad luck, Shadow.
Unlucky. Unlucky.
What do you think of that, Kaidus?
Kind of an interesting way that TLR pushed out of last there, leaving main so vulnerable. It's kind of a questionable play. I mean, I know Hiss is whining about catching the pipe, but if you leave everything exposed for the back cap, Spire is probably the hardest point to cap outright. Like, if a team wants to block, they can pretty much block it for as long as they want, just because of the disconnection between the healers and the players capping it. So yeah, like a nice, like kind of nice coordinated play from Dogs. Didn't quite come off, but TLR kind of floundering in these early stages. 2 mistakes so far, and not a lot to go on.
Yeah, at that point that they caught the pipe, there was actually 2 scouts behind that could have potentially went for that back cap, but they seemed scared by Shadowburn. I think most people are, but TLR now pushing out onto Spire, and it's Spudd and Nation doing work here, picking up frags, but it's 4-on-4 at the minute, but there's Sheepy up on the Spire, denying any more pressure from TLR. The cap will remain in red control, and it looks like they want to push in main with their Uber advantage. Here P's playing Pyro, but he's showing his hand early, so they know the Pyro's here, and Dogs are backing out.
Yeah, the thing is, Serotonin has built this so poorly, he should have had Uber 10 or 15 seconds before they arrived in main, so kind of, like I said, Dogs playing it by the book here. They don't know that Serotonin's built that Uber so badly. I mean, they knew he lost a little bit of time, but really, like, I don't know, I wasn't watching his path to know why he was building so badly, but around 70, it just stopped for about 10 seconds. It didn't go up for a long time, so they clearly didn't realize that disconnection occurred.
Got Alfie hiding up on that little glitch above spawn. He's actually going to drop down. Just wanted to point that out, but TLR are beginning to move forward to top lobby, and this is risky. You know, they're just taking a peek here. They're trying to fish for information essentially and decide what would the best thing to do here. But they really need to try and trade Ubers before they can play for that Spire. But TLR know that is just a fool's errand to try and go out there and force the trade when there's so much room. But wow, TLR AMS actually manages to jump around there. The Uber's being popped by Serotonin, and he actually ends up dropping AMS, and we see Serotonin here, or sorry, Kratos here, hasn't even had to pop off his charge. They're able to move down through main, but it's 4-on-4, and Spud's going to come in, but Kratos haven't flashed him, and he's going to get dropped as well. Both medics throwing some clangers there. Kratos is on to the point, but everyone from his team is dead. They just got put through the meat grinder there, and that was just a comedy of errors, kaidus.
Yeah, those were 2 very, very poor Ubers. I mean, really ballsy decision by the TLR combo to even attempt that, and yeah, so I guess Serotonin just wanted to hold on to the Uber for as long as possible because they knew it was such a risky play. It didn't work, and then on the opposite side,
look at the spy! Oh, Alfie comes in from behind, gets the backstab, and that is Serotonin down. So now we see the rest of Dogs looking to get aggressive. They're going to step into the house, and this is great for them with these heads, but Shadowburn jumping in behind. Luckily, Kratos has stepped. Oh, he stepped the wrong way. Ams comes in. It's a pincer. Comes in from the hunter there, but the cleanup has gone in favour of Dogs. Now both scouts alive. They're going to be able to cap the Spire easily.
And this is kind of TLR. Like, you see what I mean with like the aggression? They commit really, really hard. 6 guys. I mean, they get the medic. They lose the Spire, but I mean, I guess things are going to even out for them. Things probably looking better in their opinion than they were a moment ago. But I mean, like Dogs so far, like this is exactly what they needed. Like they needed like a slow start. They didn't need fast round necessarily. They needed a really like a kind of a slow start to put the game in their core a bit more. Now you see Spudd actually running the Cookie Bomb launcher, so they're preparing for like an even Uber situation on last. As long as they can hold on to the Spire though, they have to retake it, or like at least get the TLR plays off. But they're completely overcommitted to that Spire, and there's going to be the back cap. That's round 1 to Dogs, so it's a really, really excellent start for Dogs here.
Wow, Dogs had a couple of weapons in their arsenal. They had crits, they had that Quickie Bomb launcher, and also the back cap. Back cap wins out. That is round 1 going in favour of our underdogs. Now TLR moving on to middle. I'm going to play a little bit of their comms. Let's see what the plan is.
Now. Okay, demo's on train.
He's weak. I've launched. I'm down.
One soldier weak.
Medic's dead. I'm dead.
I'm dead as well. We have no pressure on their train now, apart from Shadowburn.
Get back, get back.
Check.
Oh.
I was like Shadowburn jumping too early, I think. I'm not there yet.
Just stay alive, Nico. You're really important now.
What do you think of Heist's analysis there, kaidus? Is that accurate?
I didn't see Shadowburn anywhere near their train. Shadowburn looked to me like he was dying on his own train, but I was kind of focused on Spudd, who's actually still running the Cookie Bomb launcher. I'm guessing he didn't have time to change off it, but it's interesting to note that there was no one on TLR's comms called out that he was running the Cookie Bomb launcher. So if they can take the Spire now, so far, kind of like, I mean, the key to the Cookie Bomb launcher, like the idea is you use it to destroy the stickies on Badlands last and get yourself an easy cap. And the only real counter to it is to know they are doing it, you know? Like, if you don't know it's coming, then it just completely catches you out at the worst possible moment. The fact there was no call on it bodes very well for Dogs, as they're kind of slowing things down now at the moment.
What's the impact of running it on middle? Is there like less damage available to you, or more?
It does slightly less damage, but the stickies charge at twice the rate, so you only have to, like, to shoot long-range stickies, you have to charge them for half the time. But I think for most demos, I've never seen Spudd run this unlock before. I think it's something he's just bringing out for Badlands last. Like I say, he only had it on mid because it was a leftover from the last round. So he looked a little bit uncomfortable with it, I think, because it's just shooting long range sticks with it is very strange. But they are Ubering here through choke. It's a very questionable decision because TLR are holding all the way back on Spire, haven't got proper vision, and that's a wasted Uber. 90% now for TLR. They're going to have to get Serotonin down. It's going to look really bad for them. They lose 3 kills, no force on the medic or no kill. Going to have to go back to middle now and just dig their heels in, hope they can get a force out, or at the very least get Kratos out to Spire alive.
And they're losing the fight on the flank as well. Shadowburn's already killed off Sheepy. Nico's in tow there, and they're just pounding down these remaining players. Scrab, the only one that lives to tell the tale. But yeah, really rookie mistake there from the Dogs combo. They just pushed in blind, they Ubered blind. All they have to do is just peek. Like, you've got a soldier with 300 health. He's not going to die instantly, just taking a look around the corner first. But they Ubered in blind, and TLR had just out-positioned them there. Were able to clean up effectively, move forward here, and they've taken 2 points off the back of that. There are currently 9 minutes played, 21 minutes left on the clock, and only one round. The difference, TLR now setting up to equalise things. If they're listening, they can hear a heavy weapons guy on last, and a pyro, all these audio cues being given away by Dogs, but TLR look like they want to go bottom right for double soldier spam, looking for the buffs here. Or Ams is in position anyway, maybe he's just watching it. They're actually building the Uber furiously. Okay, they're going to bring in Scout and Soldier. Herpy takes a lot of damage on entry. He wants to play the point, but he's pretty weak. He's going to have to... Oh, nice! They managed to just make it work. The debt comes in. Or was it cleared? I'm not sure. But he does get the point.
Spud did end up detting. His sticky setup on the point was not really great. All the stickies kind of started at the back of the point, so it was a very tempting thing for the TLR scout to do, was just to bait the stickies. Yeah, and it worked out this time. The debt was forced, and when the Uber faded, an easy cap for them.
Spud is running the standard sticky launcher to middle this time. Trading sticks with Heist. He's got a slight life lead as they look to move forward, but Amps and Shadowburn both putting pressure onto the red train. They've found 3 frags now. The scouts have been unleashed. Heist and Nico going ham. Nico's in behind these remaining Dogs players, cutting off their retreat. Kratos knows that his death warrant has been signed, and he's going to join the rest of his teammates in that spawn queue. Scrab, Alfie and Nation just getting back up, but they're not going to be able to contest this Spire. Already we see 2 very deadly scouts up there. Now the combo of TL are going to join. They want to push in up top. They don't want to risk any lobby shenanigans. They're going to cap and control the upper lobby, and they'll be ready to push momentarily. That charge is just coming up now, kaidus.
Yep, I think Spider's going to switch over to the loose cannon. He likes to kind of play this top right denial with it. He has got a loose cannon, so there's potential for a hard deny on this Uber. Like, the pyro and the loose cannon combined is a really effective combination. We do see it deny most of the Uber, but they get the frag on the pyro, and they're going to take position top right now. It's really important these Dogs players on top do not die. If they're dying now, then it's going to be really, really tough for them to hold, and they're slowly getting picked off one by one. A lot of red HP for TLR though, but I don't think there's anyone able to convert that into frags, and they're just ticking off players one by one. The point's now getting exposed by Hiss spamming Spud on the top right as my words failed to come out, and it's going to be a cap. A nice clinical push from TLR there. Took it very slow, gained the small advantages phase by phase, and just took over ground. The frags came.
I'm going to switch it up to the Dogs column, see if they've got a plan for middle.
Just try and jump on the
jump
point.
them,
Delay and jump on the point. Wait till they're on point and then you jump them while going aggressive.
That was
Just delay.
I'm playing passive.
Soldier on the train.
Scout took 60.
I'm going on point now.
6 on our scope, guys. Yeah, jump it now. Alfie's on them. We have good damage on them. Let's go,
Hit
guys.
no double. Hit no
Danger,
double.
It's fine.
danger.
Lots
Come
of
forward,
damage.
forward for heal.
Damage off point.
Both scouts are on me. I'm dead. Scouts are slow.
Soldier kill.
Both scouts are slow.
You need
Yeah,
to
but
triangle
one
from medic. Okay. They're coming Hunter. Well, was
I'm not going to stay for the post-mortem, but I will note that at the point that Kratos said they had good damage on him, the team health bar told a different story. It was all, or it seemed like it was all TLR. They'd done significantly more damage in that initial engagement, but he was at least positive in the clear voice and the comms there, trying to lead Dogs forward, but that middle was not successful.
Yeah, but there's something that happens as a main caller. Like, you don't have the advantages we have from STV. Like, I think Kratos probably not necessarily the right decision, but I mean, if he's making these calls for his team, then eventually it's going to pay off. You know, on the mids where they do get the good damage, it's keeping everyone kind of together.
Here comes Uber top right, and the pyro of Scrab is going to get mushed right there. Amps is going to get a second frag onto Nation as well, take down the enemy pocket, and again TLR not committing too early to the point. They're just looking for the frags here, playing that Uber advantage to perfection. It's going to be a complete wipe before anyone steps on the point there, and TLR, you know, they've shaken off that first round loss and are now 3 rounds unanswered here. 16 minutes 50 seconds left on the clock as we go to the 5th mid fight. And who we want to watch, Kaidus?
I'm checking out Spudd. I really want to see him make some adaptations. So he's gone Balk, which is a good decision. Shadowburn's giving him a real trouble time on a few of these mids, so it's a necessary adaptation. He's just plays passive. They pick off Shadowburn, which is kind of vital. Kratos does go down, so it's just going to be a DM fest now. Can Dogs kind of convert on the medical, get the frags to push the rest of TL out, and they're actually cleaning up frags. Hiss and Ams both going down. Serotonin surviving. Actually, in fact, no, Serotonin's been caught out by Alfie. I didn't see that. I thought he was going to get away, but exactly what Dogs needed. A really, really convincing mid. But yeah, that's what I was trying to say before this mid began. Wow, Nico.
That's so cheeky.
That's a classic Nico frag.
He doesn't run away from middle, he just hops around up onto the wooden platform there with the winger or whatever, kills off Alfie. He was just calmly waiting for his med pack to respawn. And it seems like Heist is going to contest here. Scrab and Sheepy have overcommitted themselves to the Spire. Are they going to actually escape? No, Sheepy won't. But Scrab is still alive here. He's going to step into the house where he sees Nico. He's getting baited though. RP could have gone to contest him, but actually drops off into the valley. And TLR are set up for a two-pronged attack here. Shadowburn, RP and Nico coming from the flank whilst the combo distract on Choke. But here come those scouts. Oh, Nation wants to try and hold Choke, but his teammates have just backed off and left him for dead there. And it's actually a crit coming up. I guess that's why they're trying to wait. They wanted to get that crits up. They wanted to play passively, but there was just a real lack of cohesion there. It was Calamity on Danger Dog's side. Didn't even get that crits up, and it's all over for them for these 2 points anyway.
Yeah, it's the small mistakes costing them. Just losing that one scout, like those two scouts trying to cap Spire for Dogs, that was very questionable. They were never going to get enough cap time to justify the risk, and with one of them going down, it meant they had no cover on flank. When the push came in for TLR, Alfie was kind of forced to focus on Choke to shut down the combo, which left Valley completely open for the TLR flank to kind of roll in. So yeah, a conflict of ideas there, I guess. The scouts wanted to do something early, and Kraus wanted to play the slow game. TLR over in top lobby now. Nico and Happy are both dying, so there's no scouts on the field for TLR. Ams has kind of got a lot of work to do now. He has to find frags if this is going to be converted into anything. 4v3, they have a lot of options. Hiss on the point. And yeah, they make it work, but very messy. Like, both scouts dying instantly. It could have ended very badly for TLR there. But they do take another round. It's 4-1 now.
If Spudd had been positioned a bit more defensively there rather than getting stuck into them on main, he could have clutched it, but with no stickies on the point, it was an easy cap for TLR. But here we go, 4-1 TLR as we hit this 6th mid fight. Heist is going to walk forward, and he's already trying to sticky up his own shithouse. They're playing pretty defensive here. Now the double soldier bomb comes forward, but the soldiers seem timid and jump back immediately. The Heist comes in, jumping very high, raining down that damage. Gets a pick onto Kratos, and Herp tries to move forward to follow up. Nico dancing around as well here, and TLR are looking to combine, but it seems that just by blobbing up, Dogs have managed to bring the fight to them and focus down these targets, and only Serotonin remains alive. Will surely have to kill himself or just give up to Scrab's scattergun. And yeah, Dogs still have life in them here, Kaidus.
Yep, it's a better situation for them now as well. They're going to get this cap. They got time to get scouts on the Spire, so like they struggled with this decision before, but I mean this time they actually have a right to go for it. They're going to cap it, but Scrab's making a mistake. He's dwelling a bit too long. He only wanted the cap there, but he's thinking about frags. Coming down to 14 HP, might just slip away from Valley, but lucky to get away with his life there. But yeah, I think Dogs have figured out the mids basically. Spud is now playing on Balk, which means the early soldier aggression is it's just not finding damage on any key targets. The scouts are just chilling back waiting for them. They're not really doing anything till Alfie and Nation are there to help them. So I don't know, Hiss jumped on this mid. You see what I mean with like they commit really to their aggression. Like he sees that both his soldier bombs have done nothing, so he's like, you know what, I'll just bomb as well. Like they really want to take these mids hard and fast, and if it doesn't go well for them, you know, they just
they hung their soldiers out to dry though. They're just sending in that double soldier bomb against like 4 or 5 buff players. It's like why didn't Heist move forward and soften them up? He put all the stickies in the shithouse then instead of like spamming or whatever, like trying to help the soldiers out. He jumps in afterwards. Anyway, the Uber's coming in top left, and again Dogs have been repelled here. Like they are struggling to deal with this pyro setup.
Yeah, but Happy is in honesty, Happy is a pretty effective pyro. I mean, in 66 it's kind of strange. You don't really talk about good pyros and bad pyros. They're just like normally they're just considered, you know, bots that are air blasting top right in these situations. But Happy is definitely, like from experience, one of the more slippery pyros to deal with when you're trying to break into a Badlands last hold.
We're in a little pause right now, guys. Don't panic. It looks like Sheepy may have disconnected. But that would be 90 seconds from the point we're at in the game, you know, due to STV time delay, time continuum shenanigans. But looking at the sort of, as the game stands right now, Dogs have quite a few weak players on their team. They're a man down as well, and they're about to face an uber push from TLR. Is Kratos even going to make it out of this one? He's got his back to TLR. He's only on 94 health. He will die to a direct there.
It's going to be 50-50. It's going to be 50-50, I think. These rockets, there's actually a rocket headed his way. Is that from Shadowbone? Yeah, Shadowbone's actually got a spam rocket that's probably going to tag him, maybe. Kind of hard to tell on STV because things are a little bit mixed up. I mean, if that rocket tags him, then it's a pretty much guaranteed frag for AMS, who's pretty much about to spam him from top right. So yeah, it's going to come down to if Kratos can get out of this situation. I think Dogs are pretty comfortable holding Spy. I mean, they're only Sheepy down, which in theory it's not really going to matter too much. Because, you know, he could be their backcapper, respawning and going through Valley, like drop down, like we saw before, TLR push from Trash. So they tend to leave Shadowbone on last and push from Trash. They leave main exposed. They just kind of, you know, they trust Shadowbone. They just count on Shadowbone to deal with things on last. So there's potentially going to be an opportunity for Sheepy on the respawner coming here. Spud's going down as we get the pause, unpause. So that pretty much cancels anything I was just talking about, because without a demo to delay Spire or to block Spire, it's going to be pretty tough. Kratos down to 17 HP. So those rockets do tag him, but I don't know. He might still make it. He's going to make it. He's making it.
Grabbing pills, boss.
He's just got to run out through Valley, though. This is going to be a free Spy for TLR. I'll be surprised if they even have to use
Alfie,
yeah, I was just about to say, we do have Alfie hiding on the lamp. I mean, like I say, I'm pretty sure they'll leave Shadowbone on last, so I don't expect him to get a back cap. They have left Shadowbone on last, but Alfie here, if he decides to go for the medic, he might be able to manufacture something, but he's going for last. He's never going to get anything done here. Shadowbone's just going to play for time. He has the defender's advantage. He does get the frag, though, which is pretty nice. So he's now behind, and he's going to be a nuisance. And Uber is popped for TLR. They're trying to contest mid now. The HUD is broken, so I don't have a clue what's going on. Take it over, Ads.
Oh man, you need to step up your plug-in game. Get yourself some status spec, and you won't have those pause HUD bugs anymore. But right now, Dogs are trying to move towards their own choke. There is a little action going on in Valley there. Sheepy trading shots with Nico, two arch nemesis. And we see Dogs moving in with this Uber charge. They're going to push forward with Scrab, Spuds in tow as well, but his health isn't great. And they're just walking forward here. They're big dogging it, man. They're not going to pop off too early. TLR actually have a charge of their own coming up pretty soon, and it seems like they just want to give up the point there. Nico's actually ghosted in below middle. He's underneath the point, hiding in the shadowy area. There is action going on at the choke point, though. TLR get forced to the point where Sheepy's disappeared from the server. So they're actually a man down here. They have Ubered. They're looking to push forward here, but it looks like the last resort are going to batten down the hatches. They've got all 6 players playing together here. They've sort of sacrificed the flank to give them the superior firepower. They were hoping that Dog's really going to commit to that one and get mullered, but they have decided to retreat onto middle. So we get a little bit of an Uber stalemate here as Sheepy gets back on the server. Oh, dry push coming in. Both soldiers jumping in. Shadowburn creating space for Amps, and Amps going forward to do the damage, but oh my god!
Oh my goodness! What the hell happened there? That has got absolutely swallowed. Holy shit! What happened there? I was too busy lagging around trying to fix my HUD to really recognize the push was beginning.
The scouts really seemed to crush the soldiers there, but again, just the combined bombing there from both soldiers and demo doing a lot of work here, and Amps respawning as heavy. How does this work? But it's not even Amps that does anything there, it's the respawn coming in from Hairpy on Pyro that seems to be blocking the point on Heist as well. But with 2 down now, Dogs are going to commit with an Uber here. They're really trying to force the issue on the point. Only Hairpy is there now. Serotonin the last to be defending, and it's Alfie who's going to pick up the 2k there on the point and grab the cap. He was on a 6k streak there. Big Alfie doing work from that massive choke meat grinder all the way on to last.
Not gonna lie, my heart was in my mouth there when I saw they decided to leave Nation to cap, or the soldier at least to cap, and they only have the ×1, allowing the respawns to come in. I was really fearing the worst there for Dogs to win, but they do win it. They are back on another mid. They figured out TLR on these mids now, so it's kind of time for TLR to do something different. Very passive play from TLR at the moment, dealing with Alfie before doing anything else, and now we see the bombs coming. Shadowburn being dealt with, but TLR all over the Dog side at the moment, pushing them out of choke. Hiss with the pipe kill. But we end up with a 3v3 situation, but Dogs are firmly pushed out. Hatefee is not looking great for them. As Ams just lands on Sheepy's head. See you later, bro. Scrap surfing out. Kratos now lingered a little bit too long. I thought they were going to be really comfortable. I thought they would get out without a problem, but they just stay too long. They expect TLR to cap, but this is what I was talking about. They commit. When TLR go, they go hard. Barely capping at all, just going for the wipe, and they get it. And that's a big mistake from Dogs, and not one I really expected to see them make. Very un-Kratos-like to linger so long there.
he was sort of he was playing mind games with Shadowburn. Like Shadowburn seemed to be called shithouse, and Kratos sort of ran out of the house and then ran back in again. And he was essentially not healing his team for most of middle. And he tried to meet up with them on choke, but that last rocket just stunned him in the air from Amps. He couldn't surf that one out. But here we see TLR pouring forward now with this huge Uber advantage. Amps is on the Spire. He's being contested heavily by Spudd. Alfie tries to get in behind onto Serotonin, but nice protection there from Herr P. And slowly but surely, TLR are bullying back Dogs. Dogs seem content to give up their conquest of Spire. They're going to sacrifice that.
Dogs are making a big mistake here. TLR have already climbed Spire.
Mode?
Yeah, they're holding forward, but TLR have already climbed Spire. No one's giving them vision. They find out just in the nick of time. Currently sitting on 70%, so they're going to need to get a pyro up. They're going to need something to hold on here. Waiting for the Uber is not going to work for them. Scrab getting on pyro now, but it might be too little too late as he's not quite in position. Managing to delay some of it, but he dies. That's a really poor death for Scrab if you're going to play that far back as a pyro, kind of surviving is paramount. The Sticky's are dead, the point is open, but the Uber does come in for Dogs. The saving grace of the Uber charge, invulnerable shiny players running around, but they've kind of compromised their position. They're chasing Soldiers lower right, and it's only really Spudd now left controlling the high ground. They need to get back and get in position fast as Sheepy dies elsewhere. Maybe they're going to have the time to stabilize as the TLR respawns come in.
I think that was a real missed opportunity there from Heist. Like, all of Dogs were bunched up in the low ground bottom right, and he was just sort of standing on main, just setting down stickies. But if they'd actually pushed top left or top right, they would have been able to dominate that high ground. But they've given Dogs an opportunity here. Heist is taking a lot of focus fire in the lobby, but he still has that hail beam on him. He's going to be able to back off a little bit. Let's go to the Dogs' comms. They seem like they want to push right now.
Come back to last.
I thought we were pushing, sorry.
No,
yeah, like, we could still again, like we're calling too much.
left.
I almost have the Uber. I need someone with me now.
I might
be with
come
me.
back. They popped in,
Yeah, that's...
Soldier piped.
It's again like, guys, we need to calm down everything. Like I
Who's
called for
saying
push,
who
but I couldn't say like.
Who's
if
talking
them
too
not
much?
Everyone pretty much. I don't know. Like I couldn't say that we couldn't walk in. Like Nation was clearing the sticks and then we were still pushing. Then we have to slow down and help against these stickies. Let's go slow. Go slow. Let's take our train.
Scout took 73. I'm over.
I'm on the
Both
front of the
soldiers,
point.
yeah. Scout is in my face, guys. I'm not back. I died.
I'm getting rushed. I'm dead.
Let's go down. I'm dead.
Sleepy's on the demo. You can just go for medic.
I'm dead.
Fine, right. 5 seconds.
It seems like Dogs have been asked a lot of questions here and they don't really have the answers at this point, kaidus.
Well, it's disappointing that they're kind of letting that last situation get to them because they were playing very ballsy, you know. It was really, like, they had nothing really to push on, but they were trying to do it anyway. If that kind of situation doesn't work out for you, then you really just have to say, okay, it was a risky type of push to make, and I don't know, they're talking about comms and things we didn't hear, but I mean, for me, it's just like they tried to push, like, dry, out of last on nothing, and just got caught out for it, so I hope they just get their heads back in the game, because they're doing a great job by my impression here anyway.
Oh, Alfie's in and got the fourth then. Kratos is on 65% crits. They're going to lose Sheepy in that engagement as well, so they're 2 down here, and they're getting chased hard by Ams. He's going to catch Nation with a long rocket there, but Kratos is still furiously trying to build this charge up. He's being hounded.
Oh, Spudd! The magic pipe, and now the magic crits is all on Spudd. He's getting 1 kill on the medic. Pipe on the soldier. He's doing it. Spudd cleaning up with the help of Scrab. Really nice DM there from Spudd to kind of save the day there. The first pipe onto the scout, then the crit sticky onto the medic, and then just his scouts supporting him, getting the cleanup. Only really Hiss alive now. He's got to back out of there. Happy up on sniper.
Big traps. Oh, gets a double kill! Gets Alfie and Sheepy. 2 traps, 1 up top, 1 lower. And manages to pick up 2 important frags there. Like, there is some momentum building for Dogs, but even though they cap the Spire, or will they cap it? That's going to slow them down anyway. Scrab gets launched in the air. He hasn't even capped the point yet. Amps is going to attempt the air shot, then whip out the shotgun. Kratos has to back off here, but Spudd is still rock solid connecting those pipes. Kratos peeks out. Oh, breakdown of communication there. Now Spudd has to go huge. He's looking for the pick on the Serotonin and lands the pipe.
Spudd,
It's the medic differential, but TLR will defend Spire, and they could potentially push here. Their health isn't terrible. They're trying to make something happen, but Sheepy is striking Nico up there.
God, is he going to taunt?
He's going to taunt him. He's going to taunt him. Sit down, Nico.
He should never have got that frag. He ran into that scout. He had his 3-wound blade out. He was trying to go for the back cap, but then he kind of saw his people on Spire, turned 90 degrees, still had the blade out, and just ran into Nico. 1v1s him. Like, Nico put him down to 30 or so with the first shot, and then I don't know. Sheepy pulling it back. Nico on tilt. Who knows? But yeah, that situation we saw, like that Spire take, Kratos lingering again just a little bit too long. Obviously, like you said, there's a bit of miscommunication, but Spudd, like, I don't know, he's DM redeeming him there because the kind of the team play wasn't really in the right place. We do see, like, I'm not quite sure what we're seeing. We're kind of seeing Dogs attempt to, again, push off last dry. I mean, there's 4 minutes left on the clock and they need 3 rounds, so I guess I can see where they're coming from. But with Alfie dying instantly and nothing really to gain, they should probably just cut their losses here and try again in 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, it was like 6 or 7 minutes left on the clock when they made that first push out from last that didn't end well for them when Shadowburn crushed their flank, but I definitely agree with the sentiment. They need to start getting aggressive unless you just want to sit back and lose. But they did get punished that last round, extending the difference to 3. Now Hairpiece respawn the sniper. He's going to find that body shot onto Kratos. Medic down. Amps kills off Nation as Dogs just throw caution to the wind here. They're trying to make something happen. They're incredibly desperate here. This is just, you know, they've been backed into a corner. They're lashing out, but TLR are just sitting back and soaking up all this pressure. And now we're going to see Scrab play the Amps role here, playing the Ninja Heavy. Drops down and gets the force, but everyone gets flashed there by Serotonin. No damage done. And the frags are coming in heavily in favour of the last resort. Only Nico goes down. Amps is just pogoing up and down on the point there, and they will get the cap. My 7-2 prediction. Come on, TLR.
I think if this game ends 7-2, it's going to be a pretty harsh reflection on Dogs' performance. I think they've done a pretty good job, honestly. I mean, it's out of their hands now. There's 2.5 minutes left and they need 4 rounds to even tie it up. But, I mean, if we consider kind of the last pushes they failed and the manner in which they failed them and kind of the mids they won, you know, there's a lot they can be proud of in this game. Like the first game in Prem for a lot of these players, and they figured out the mids, you know, still having success on the mids. As we look at another one where actually they're not, I'm watching Ams, who was not actually on dogs.tf. But my point stands, they did figure out the mids like in the middle of the game when it actually mattered. We're just kind of looking at garbage time now. So yeah, I don't know, we heard them arguing before. I hope they get that kind of that emo out of their system because they're doing good. They're doing a good job.
Yeah, like even when we did hear the comms, I don't think they were there was any animosity there. It was just like a very real discussion, calm and collected.
Yeah, but
like,
I don't know, for my taste, it's not the time or the place for it really, because they're looking at, like, you know, they're rolling out to a new mid and they really need to focus on that mid fight, not like on the last push they just failed or something like that. I mean, there's times to discuss that. I have a video in preparation actually that I've been trying to make discussing a potential way we can fix this kind of problem where we have teams arguing on mid rollouts and things like this. But I'll talk about that later.
need a round pause on it, a little break between rounds. Yeah.
Well, we have CVARs in the game that can do this. I spoke to the admins about it previously, and they just kind of blinked at me and were like, "Why would we want to do that?"
The admins, what would they do?
Either way, yeah, it's kind of as we play the game at the moment. There's really no time to discuss anything between rounds other than that mid fight. If you need to say something about that mid fight, that's what they should all be focusing on in that moment. You know, not some push, not some like. I mean, essentially they were arguing about a situation or discussing a situation that I don't think they face again in this match, you know? So, okay, I guess that's what I'm trying to say here. They should prioritize their discussions. You don't have enough time in TF2 at the moment to discuss about everything.
Well, the game continues there. Shadowburn was taking the fight single-handedly all the way back in Dog's lobby whilst Heist and Ams crushed the attempted aggression on middle. They're going to run in here and they're going to make it 7-2. Who would have thought it? Me, that's right. Oh yeah.
It's not a real 7-2 though.
That's going to be map 1 going in favour of the last resort. There are 25 seconds left on the clock, but as with the last, I don't know, 6-7 minutes, this is dead time. We'll go and take a look at the logs. The game's already finished in real time. Oh, there we see DavidTheWin already has them in chat. I'm gonna bring them up on screen here. The action continues, you know, but I'm not interested. It's kaidus.
The action continues?
In the server. It's just ended on STV. Amps, top damage, 358 DPM, 30 frags, 9 assists, 16 deaths, and a whopping 8 air shots. The closest behind him was Alfie on 7, who probably deserves a little credit, but right behind Amps on frags, Hair P on 28. There's Scrab just behind them, way ahead of his team with 26 frags. Spudd had 19. Spudd and Scrab doing work for the UK, man. There's a bright future for British TF2.
Yeah, I have Scrab on my fantasy team. I gambled on the boy and it's paid off big here. 26-18, 7 caps. That is not bad for a 20,000 whatever currency fantasy TF2 uses scout. Disappointed with Nico though, only 10 caps. I looked at all the logs of TLR PCWs to pick which scout should I get. which one caps the most of TLR. And in every PCW, it was Nico with more caps, and now Happy, the little bitch boy, thinking about fantasy points. 15 caps. Disappointing. But yeah.
I made a very recent switch there. Only yesterday, I think, I purchased Hair P for my roster and Shadowburn. So I'm pretty happy with that. Shadowburn
Didn't
didn't have the most impressive score. Yeah, he went 13 for 4 for 20, but so much of what his game is like doing mad jumps and distracting people and going behind for long periods of time, you know, going dark. But Alfie, the more impressive roamer for me anyway.
Yeah, Alfie had some big moments. I mean, I said before the game I wasn't expecting him to do great for his fantasy loyalists, but he definitely had some moments, like some real crucial moments, some good picks, and he's like on the mids, he's kind of playing alone a lot as well, you know. They were playing a very Brass was calling, you know, for his soldiers to wait, to jump when once their soldiers had gone, and that kind of leaves Alfie to put pressure alone while they're trying to clean up, you know, TLR soldiers. So it's a hard role Alfie's playing in this team, and for a player fresh out of high, never played a Prem game before, and who's on an average day, his DM probably isn't up there with the soldiers he's playing against. It's a real respectable performance from Alfie.
The standout stat here for me is probably the mids. Ended up 5-4 in favour of TLR, just about edging it, but then you see the end result 7-2. And I gotta take a look here at Kratos's Uber rate. Like, he only managed to get 8 charges out. There was 14 for Serotonin. He had 6 more deaths. I mean, if things are going bad, we talked about him lingering a little bit, but if he can just get out and get to last, he's going to really soften the blow of any unsuccessful mid fights or whatever. And there weren't even, like, as the stats say, it was pretty close in terms of mids, but if Kratos could just increase his survival rate at those key moments, maybe his team are going to be able to stay in the fight for longer.
Yeah, but this kind of works both ways. Like, it's both sided. Like, the rounds are so different from the mids for the reasons you discussed there, but also if you kind of look at the opportunities dogs were presented off the back of their mid wins. I mean, we saw 2 complete fail pushes to last where they didn't even break through the pyro.
That was garbage. TF2. The first push they did against the pyro, they had one guy in the Uber. That's a big no-no, man.
But that was,
you don't know.
That was an unfortunate one. This is something TLR I've seen them do a few times. Like, they know they have even Ubers, so they don't check for the pyro, you know, they just push because they think, okay, the other team has Uber, why would they use a pyro? And then you walk in and suddenly there's a pyro and that pyro is consuming all of your Uber, so you just have to leave. Like, if you commit someone at that point to try and force the Uber, you're just going to lose more numbers. So that was that time it kind of caught them out because they simply weren't expecting a pyro on an even Uber situation.
But it's there's no downside to bringing a scout in with your charge, even if it is Uber versus Uber, because they're so fast they can just run out, and you only lose half a second or whatever if you have to flash 2 people like that.
Yeah, true.
I couldn't fathom the fact they'd gone in with one soldier blind like that, and then I thought, okay, maybe it was just the early game nerves. They're going to sort this out, but again, they failed against that pyro push. And that's bread and butter, especially in the Premiership. You're going to see pyros there all the time. You just have to expect it. And I
think the later times they expected it. It was just the first time. One time they didn't expect it, and the next time they just failed, basically. I mean, and this happens.
Yeah, that could be accurate.
It's their first night in Prem, essentially, and I'm not saying it's an excuse, but I mean, it's pretty common. We see things that are normally bread and butter, as you say, when suddenly it matters, where every click and tap of your keys is actually meaning something greater for your team than just, frags on a scoreboard or whatever. Suddenly everything becomes a bit harder, and it's kind of like walking through glue at times, just like the smallest things that come so naturally normally, when the pressure's on, suddenly they're actually quite difficult to pull off, because you it's just something that happens sometimes, especially for new teams, playing their first games, so.
I know that feel, bro. Many Ubers dropped in officials.
The situations that disappoint me was where they, if you remember the blind Uber they did through choke, where TLR were miles back behind Spire, just not getting the vision and not getting the sight before they make their decisions. Those are the kind of things that are costing them.
Let's jump ahead and we'll think about map 2, Snake Water. If you have just joined us here on teamfortress.tv, this is Admirable with kaidus and DavidTheWin on camera. It's the ETF2L Season 21 powered by TT Esports Premiership Week 1, the fixture between Danger Dogs by TF2Pickup.net and The Last Resort. TLR managed to cap out on Badlands 7-2, but it wasn't nearly the full 30 minutes. And so they are entering map 2 here with 3 points already of a potential 6. What do you think would be a good result for dogs at this point, kaidus?
I think they should hope for better than Badlands. I think they want They should not. Well, okay. On Badlands, it shouldn't really have been a win limit if we played a respectable esport where teams could just, GG out when the game was beyond winning. We'd be looking at somewhat like a 5-2 in that game or something like that. So I'm going to say they want to improve that, like the realistic 5-2. I want to say they want to improve that to a 4-2 or something like that. I think that's what they're capable of if they play their game well, and if TLR continue to play. If TLR step it up, then we could see like something different. But if TLR maintain their current level, and dogs doing what they're capable of, then I think 4-2 is something respectable for them to aim for.
So you're backing dogs for this one? Or are you just saying that's what they should be aiming for?
4-2 defeat.
Okay. I'm feeling the golden cap here. I think we could end up with a tied game after 30 minutes, but it will go in favour of TLR. I'm going to say 3-3 golden cap, but TLR take it 4-3 and they end up, I'm being very specific here. I've been right once tonight. What would that mean for the betting? You were talking about the spread bet there.
I don't think it would change anything. I think dogs needed 2 golden cap losses or 1 golden cap win for them to be considered the spread winners or whatever you call it. Basically, for people who bet on dogs to win, they need dogs to win this map or win a golden cap on this map. So, okay, yeah, I'm with you. That is saloon.tf, guys. It's a CSGO Lounge-esque betting site for Team Fortress 2. A great way to, fortify your interest in competitive TF2. And it's going to make even the biggest rolls that slight bit more interesting. If you have your 1 scrap on Lego at 99-1, man, think about the riches you could have when Lego flick a win. Oh yeah, shots fired. This is the last game of week 1, but there hasn't really been any upsets so far, have there, kaidus? No, there have been no upsets so far, but I mean, this is kind of the game of the week, like as far as I was concerned. All the other games were not really that interesting. I think the dogs games are going to be the ones to watch this season, because it's kind of, they're in the middle. They're the only real, with them and 425, they're sitting in the middle together. Going to have close games against a lot of teams, but we are live, I do believe.
Holy shit. Yeah, it is true, we are live. I'm looking at Spud, who's trying to walk a little bit towards the point. He's looking to set his sights on Herr P, the scout, who steps onto the point with Heisen. It seems like a pretty aggressive middle here from TLR. They've sent Shadowburn in to turn heads, and now they're trying to drive forward and find frags, but Alfie and Sheepy are just a nuisance up there on the high ground. Nation jumps in, having picked up the kit, and somehow they've combined to... Oh, big direct rocket onto Herr P. He's going to get chased down by Sheepy. Sheepy guns him down. He's looking for Serotonin as well. Sheepy pistoling him down. Surely can connect 29 points worth of damage and will get him with the reload there. But wow, TLR really tried to go hard there and get super aggressive, but they just got soaked up by Danger Dogs.
It's really interesting, because this is almost the exact same middle we saw in Badlands. Like, Shadowburn in really early, in too early, it has to be said. Like, this is not normally what he does. Normally he's in there and making like a lot of distraction, taking a long time to die. Pretty much from Badlands is exactly what we saw. Like, I mean, he went down to 1 HP on Badlands, but basically we're seeing the same kind of thing. So what we're probably going to see later in the game is Shadowburn fixing this bomb that he normally does so well in PCWs. And the mid's coming even again. But yeah, dogs again on top, first mid of the game.
The respawn from Serotonin is going to yield a crits Krieg. So this will probably build up just a very slight advantage here. I'm not sure if TLR are going to push off that. They seem very defensive. Whose comms would you like to hear right now, kaidus? Who do you want to listen in on?
I want to hear TLR's comms because they have crits, so they're probably going to be taking the initiative here in some way anyway.
Here we go.
We have crits now.
Hit okay road. Okay, hold on. Ready? Sir?
Yeah.
Use now.
Just checking.
Take
Come on,
it.
Peter.
Get back. Run back to last. Get heavy now. Go get heavy on top left. All the way back, guys. Get the resup in heavy. On left. Buff the heavy to fuck. Buff Shadowburn on left.
Right.
I'm up.
I don't have time, fuck.
Oh, fine. Solis on the left.
Scout to me.
Unlucky. It's fine. We had to try that, guys.
There was a talker
Yeah,
of the season award, then Hiss is getting my vote. Holy god. Like a constant flourish of comms non-stop. I mean, the calls he's making up, they make sense, but not sure how many times they need to be said. Anyway, dogs, first round of the game. Hype.
Well played. That crit's like too long range for my liking. Any medic's going to see that coming and be able to hit that right click. If they just waited till they came into lobby, maybe caught them blind. But anyway, onto this mid fight again. Shadowburn first in and down early. Amps hits a huge air shot onto Alfie there, but then gets another Soldier Nation in on top of him, and TLR haven't really made it out of their own Sorum. Now their scouts are running forward trying to make something happen, but it's already disastrous.
He's just played such an incredible middle. He read Shadowburn, pre-stickied Kitchen, bounced him, got the frag, killed Serotonin with a fadeaway pipe as he was trying to blend away, and then there's a scout running behind. After doing a lot of damage in between there, catches the scout as he tries to go behind. Spud playing the middle of his life just there.
You think we should just go to Spud Cam every mid?
Maybe.
He seems explosive. Going to be an Uber in from lower here. Spud leading the charge with Sheepy. Sheepy gets a frag on Nico left hand side. He doesn't taunt this time, but Serotonin hasn't managed to make it into the roller door. But Dogs are really making a meal of this. They have just about killed off the medic, but there's still plenty of TLR players alive as they come in from those cabinet respawns. Hairpy finds a frag on the left. Heist is trying to contest on the point here. Hairpy going to gun down the soldier and then turns his attention to the medic. Great target selection there to save the day for his teammates and save just a little bit more embarrassment. Wow.
It's disappointing. They should have taken this mid. Like the initial entry to, the initial entry was good, but then they just got a bit tunnel visiony trying to clean up the medic frag deep into the spawn rather than focusing the cap. Unlucky, but the kind of mistakes we expect to see from new teams in Prem. That could have been a real, really get momentum going there. I'm pretty convinced they were going to take it, but not on this occasion. We do now see roughly even Uber, so we're probably going to stay on my out a little bit, unless TL have been trying some kind of weird ballsy pushes from these situations today, so maybe they're going to try something, but I'm anticipating a bit of a stalemate now.
Currently the score 1-0 in favour of Danger Dogs by TF2Pickup.net. The underdogs in this fixture, and it's the same as Badlands. They took that first round, but TLR came back with a strong response. Now, TLR actually have a slight Uber advantage here, but it's not one you'd want to push off, only 8%. And we will see that classic 2-3 stalemate here on Snake War. But, with Dogs being the lead, they could easily park the bus here, and eventually the penny will drop for the last resort.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a round limit. There's 9 minutes left on the round limit, so I don't think anyone's going to push because of parking the bus. But I mean, they're in control. They have mid. They have the round. There's no urgency needed for their game anymore, which probably suits them. They're free to do whatever they want now. They can sack Alfie. They can spawn a sniper. They can do kind of whatever they want. I'm not quite sure what they're going to do though. They're going to pause the game. They're thinking, we'll just take a little pause.
Do you think in the 90 seconds between now and this pause any action happened, or did they just stand trading explosive spam around the Sorum area?
I think something's probably happening. Maybe not a push, but maybe they're going to... I reckon they're probably just going to jump Alfie in and see if Alfie can get anything done. But it looks like it's going to be tough. The TLR have quite a strong setup on CP2, opting to keep Hiss playing the arch position, which is becoming more popular now. Something I do as well, where you just kind of put your focus on the window, you leave your soldiers to control right side, and you just completely focus your attention on left and window, which makes it a lot harder to do things like soldier sacks and this sort of thing. Because normally the window is, for the offensive team, it's the way that you can slip in. The chokes are held tight, but they're probably going to come into trouble if they try to use window.
Yeah, the only bomb you can even successfully do there is probably the skip jump through from the Sorum, if you can time it right. But yeah, if you jump out that window, you're going to be dicing with death. Currently though, looking at the position of Dogs, they are playing very defensively. Alfie not buffed, not looking to make any sort of bomb play here. Nation just standing in around Sorum, controlling the entrances, taking the full heals, and potentially the full Uber Spud is sitting way back here. So it seems to me like at this point Dogs are just saying, come at me bro, give TLR the opportunity. I just looking at Mumble right now, I see Scrab disconnecting, so I'm assuming he is the reason for this pause. But just sort of riffing off what you were saying earlier about your grand designs for changes to the competitive TF2 format, allowing breaks and stuff. If you watch CSGO at a lot of these LAN events, they get timeouts.
Yep. This is another discussion. That's a discussion I also had with admins at one point. I just asked, why don't you just allow tactical pauses or whatever they're supposed to be called? Teams are doing them all the time anyway. Whenever a team feels like they want to pause and have a discussion, they're like, alright, let's just pause. Like, no opponent is ever saying no to pauses, you know? I mean, I think the rules technically state you can only force a pause between rounds for technical
it's the same in
difficulties.
CSGO as well. You have to ask for it before the round begins or something.
But I mean, in TF2, everyone's so courteous, you know? You can ask for a pause whenever, and no one's going to say anything. Even if you pause it in the middle of a fight without saying anything, all you're going to get is a few, like, grisly words. No one's actually going to have a problem with it, but we do get the pause on pause, and are we back in the game? Alfie's got a buff. Maybe he wants to make something happen now. Nope, just spamming at a window.
I mean, the pause is something that could, like, it could really be handled by a plugin, like, you know, TF2 or whatever, that would take any of the ambiguity out of it. You know, you just type, like, a pause command or whatever, or a timeout, or a, whatever command, and there would be no issue there. But ETF2L have never officially backed any plugin, and we don't actually have that yet. But, you know, Anakin, if you're listening, think about it, buddy. Kaidus has got some big ideas.
Many ideas. Yeah, you were right so far, though. Alfie not looking to make anything happen. I thought he was looking at his medic earlier during the pause for a buff, but no, they're just spamming.
RP's going to be sniper now, and he's got a big charge shot here, and it could be Nation that is the object of his affections. He's trying to work his way in here, and he's standing up on that barrel, a little unusual angle there, still trying to connect the shot, but it hasn't happened just yet. This is something I've seen Reason do as well. Sometimes Walters will go back and change off to sniper. Is it just it's the only option here that isn't risky?
For the defenders, pretty much. Yeah, you don't want to give a pick away as the defensive team. It's one of those holds that's pretty easy to do, and yeah, Scrab's just lagging around, so they're going to pause it and get him reconnected. But yeah, I mean, normally when a player goes back and changes, it's normally last, I guess. Normally you see this when you have like already capped CP4. But I mean, Snakewater 2 to 3 is one of them. I think it's quite a notable point for this kind of stalemate. It's one of the biggest stalemates you have in TF2 at the moment, other than the last stalemates which happen on every map. Happy adjusting his angle now, actually playing from the lower choke, trying to get something going through from grass, but everyone's just kind of hiding. I mean, they're kind of leaving themselves exposed, though. They only have one scout holding Sorum. Oh, Alfie's actually there helping in Sorum. I was going to say, they're vulnerable from Sorum. Like, this sniper has jostled their position up so much that...
Alfie drops out a window, gets the force there, and that was after a sort of a long period of damage being traded. Amps had found himself pretty weak, he'd backed off, and everyone was sort of not looking the right way. Alfie managed to drop out the window, gets the force, and the counter pop does eventually come in from Kratos. They're looking to move forward here, but it's 5-on-5. Hairpie sniping is being pressured back by Spudd, but here comes the bomb from Shadowburn, and Heist have given it hard for this. They're trying to create the space for Hairpie, I guess. But they do manage to kill off Spudd, and that is a crucial pick, really eliminating a big source of damage. In the main one, Nico is behind enemy lines. He's in their kitchen, but seems to step out at the wrong moment when 3 Dogs players are looking at him. He's going to go down. But do Dogs really need to back out here? Are they just scared of the sniper? I would have contested that, man.
I think they had the right to back up and collect themselves, but I think it's a mistake to give the point away. I mean, playing a bit passive was probably the right decision, because Spudd was going to get forward spawn. I expected to see them wait for Spudd and then go. Just with numbers, against the sniper, if you get a clean entry, you know, you're basically 6v4 at that point with Nico being dead. But yeah, some very passive play, giving up the mid entirely. So we're seeing the same stalemate, but we're seeing it on the other side now. But I have a feeling TLR are going to approach it in a bit more of a hands-on kind of way. They're already pushing on grass, going together as a unit. They get halfway in, oh, they're now considering going back, but Alfie gives his life away. That's a mistake. They have complete control of grass now, and Shadowburn is in. Shadowburn's on the pipe above them. He's raining rockets down, and Kratos is in the middle of nowhere. I think he wants to use his Uber effectively, but they're actually finding frags. Happy dying somehow. I didn't see that. And the Ubers are traded, and it's not looking great for Serotonin. He pops slightly later, but I mean, he has no players to work with. I'm not sure what Dogs are doing. They should be chasing this. They should be like ushering him out and chasing him into mid.
Scrab and Sheepy are behind him. They've managed to clean up the combo there. Nico is still behind the enemy lines, though. He's jumping onto the head of Alfie. Alfie hits a huge air shot, then finishes Nico off. And wow, incredible play coming out from Dogs here. Big individual efforts and nice team plays as well. But I think part of the reason that last effort from TLR didn't work, Shadowburn landed on the pipe, and I don't think he could believe he'd managed to survive for so long. And the rockets he put down didn't do any damage. He totally whiffed on Kratos, didn't hit him at all, and like the combo of Dogs were relatively unpressured. They were able to compose themselves there and just smash TLR on the low ground. Shadowburn slightly choked there, I feel.
Yeah, possibly, but I think also maybe he was just trying to, rather than focus on hitting a lot of rockets, he was focusing on, you know, survivability and being a nuisance. But I'm not entirely sure if did dogs even know he was there, because no one was really going for him until like quite a long. Like he did die eventually, but it looked like no one really reacted to him instantly. But yeah, I'm not really seeing the overall theory behind that push from TLR. I mean, the slow grass push is something you tend to do when you have advantages to work with, you know, and you want to just take CP2 clean and without risk. But they just kind of got, like you said, they got to grass and just then kind of stopped and didn't really go anywhere. But yeah, dogs rising to the task, though, defending, wiping, and now they're going to have an opportunity to push on last with a 50% Uber advantage.
The start of TLR's push was actually really nice because Nico ran in, called Alfie was on the point, and Heist just managed to lob the sticky right over the hut, and it was like great focus fire from those two. But after that, things just seemed to descend into madness. I've been told that this current pause is again due to Scrab. He's got some ping issues. He did previously restart his router. Who knows, maybe he's being DDoSed. Dare I utter that 4-letter word?
I would suppose he's probably not, though. I think if there's a player with DDoS, it's probably not the guy that no one's really heard of. Who knows? Could be anything.
Man, you know, it's the curse of the caster. I take full responsibility. I'm going to resign as of right now. See you later, mate.
Yeah, we're going to see a last push from dogs after this pause is over. I mean, maybe we're seeing an inter-round pause where dogs actually managed to take this push, but last pushes have probably been dogs' weakness so far on both maps. We've seen a lot of good mids from them. The transitional play has actually been really solid. We just saw like a fantastic transition for them where they completely TLR on like the repush from mid. On repush 2 mid, sorry, but last pushes, that's been their problem. I mean, the last push we saw them do on Snakewater a minute ago, the failed one, probably should have worked. Their entry was good, so not the same problem as Badlands. On Badlands, it was just all about getting through the choke with more than 5% of Uber left. But they need to be careful. Like, they were really tunnel visioning frags last time we saw them make this push. I want to see them just push the enemy team back and then like focus the point. If the frags don't come easy, you can use the point, make them come out of spawn, make them come to the point and just clean them up there. Like, think about their positioning and just their overall tactical team play here, rather than just, oh, we have Uber, let's shoot at people, you know? I think if they do that, like, they have everything they need, because they are good at that. When they get their heads together, they are good at just playing as a team. That's why I kind of say they're one of the teams I'm more interested in, because they're not just a group of individuals, they are a real solid like team outfit.
It looks like they're gearing up for a push from lower. It's going to be Sheepy coming in with the charge. Spud in tow as well. Kratos has popped off, and they're trying to get into the combo. It seems like Heist is their target. Demo man down, and that's going to open things up. Sheep finishes off the heavy weapons guy of Hair P as well. Now they're trying to play the point. They know those stickies aren't up, but have they committed too soon? TLR with 2 players up right now. Shadowburn and Nico trying to do work. 17 health for Nico, 33 for Shadowburn. They just step off the point, and dogs have found themselves in a 2-0 lead for the first time across both maps. This is impressive stuff. An upset on the cards, kaidus.
Yeah, it's really promising stuff. I mean, we see Alfie saying scrap ping, so maybe we're going to see some downside for dogs now, but they are on
Captain's coming in as sub.
Captain?
Yeah,
oh my god, my boy
it.
is going to absolutely razz these kids. He's the best scout in Prem.
Oh, Shadowburn, nice fast jump there. Manages to get in behind, takes the enemy kick, kills off Alfie. Now he's dropping out of the window. Shadowburn launches him up, hits the air shot onto Nation, but it was a non-fatal air shot. Maybe he missed it, but he was dead anyway. Hairpiece trying to push forward here. TLR looking to put the pedal to the metal. They've already capped middle, but Hairpiece is just going to stop. They're happy to take 4 as well and compose themselves for a last push here, kaidus.
I think this is where the pause came in. So we now have, do we have Captain in? No, we still have Scrab. Oh no, Captain's in. This is my HUD's not there. Oh, my HUD's not there. That's what's going on. But Captain on Scout, he's a very good Scout, honestly. This is no like slouch. They're not just getting in some random guy. Like, we started to try him on Scout on Viaduct, doing the traditional kind of Australian style. So he's legit. Like, I mean, we've played ZZ on Viaduct, and he's been like out damaging Zebasai on Scout when we play them, things like this. I'm not saying he's the Zebasai shit or he's better than Zebasai, just kind of showing you the level of DM this guy has on Scout. But yeah, there's a push going on. Ubers are traded on last, I think, because my HUD's still broken. Something's going on.
No, it's just a double soldier bomb. TLR sending in 2 soldiers for the force, and Scrab playing sniper right now is going to dome Amps, but they've already done what they needed to do. And there's Captain finally joining the server. He's going to spawn as sniper, it seems, and his teammates are pushing forward here. They're trying to make something happen. I'm not entirely sure what that is, what they had in mind there.
Mistake. They just feel like, okay, we've lost it, we need to go and make something happen now, but it's just the wrong decision. Like, Snakewater is such an easy point to turtle on. If they just immediately make the decision, okay, get a heavy, get maybe a sentry building or a pyro or things like this, just hold on to last. There's no need to overextend and make that easy for TLR. Like, make it difficult at least. Like that, there was absolutely no sense in this play. If you get forced there, you just have to suck it up and deal with it, I think, like being totally realistic.
Yeah, they could have easily held against an overcharge on last if they just kept players up. Like, that was nonsensical to me anyway. Heiss is looking to set up Sticky's top right here. He's really expecting a push from upper. He's looking for that Adet onto Sheepy. But he's starting to walk forward. His stick's now blown, but again, Spudd's gone down here. In fact, I'm having trouble focusing on this mid fight, but Heiss is going to land a close range pipe onto Captain. The super sub Kratos has survived, and Dogs have been unsuccessful in this attempt at middle. What really happened there, Kaidus?
I was watching the Spud perspective. He kind of got caught out in the middle of everything. I mean, TLR did again like a fast soldier bomb. Spud tried to undercut the first soldier, realized he was not going to be able to like do anything if that soldier actually focused him, so he like undercut him, ran underneath him, and tried to put pressure forward, but just got swallowed basically. There was no real focal point for Dogs on this mid. They didn't really seem to be focusing anything in particular, just kind of going toe for toe and coming out on the worst side of it.
It's going to be a heavy weapons guy being played by Nation off class, and from pocket. Captain is going to be sniping here on last for Dogs. And the position of Kratos is the left hand side here. He's got Spud with him as well. They've got Alfie and Lone on the tower there, but TLR just seem to be setting up the pieces here. Shadowburn's looking to jump on top, but he's just taking away his own health. Finally makes it up top with 130. Maybe we want to listen to some team comms. Who would you like to hear, Kaidus?
I want to hear my boy Captain in with the dog crew, see how he's doing there.
Bye, yippee yo, yippee yay.
It's fine.
Come a bit to the left, Nation, so I come up here. Okay. I just want you to keep being buffed. You can stay there, that's fine.
Is Captain allowed to talk this late at night?
Yeah,
Soldier jumps on right, he's fucked up his jump.
He's dead.
No, there's another one on right. The scout's
soldier.
on right.
I'm weak, I'm weak. Wait,
Two
I
down.
need to get healed, I need to get healed. Okay, let's have a soldier again. You need to switch to soldier.
Nothing on left.
Can I go
Nothing
for a-
drop
Push
down.
under, push under, push under.
Demo,
Too late, don't
both
push,
under.
please.
I don't know
United
where the
sticky
sticks
for.
You need to go for the
Forward.
point. Don't go too aggressive, just be on the point.
I'm on the
Six
hut,
above.
I'm on the hut
We
guys,
use.
I'm shooting them. I'm doing lots of damage. They pop,
They
they pop.
use
Nice, come out, under, out.
something on
under.
the guy.
We can't
I'm
push
gonna
this,
die.
go back to last.
I'm gonna
Top left,
die.
Someone is on last.
That's
That can't happen.
Scout back up.
He probably searched for
hiding.
cheese.
Oh, there's cheese.
This is such
That's-
like this exact same thing has happened again. I don't know why that if you have to sit there and discuss for 10 seconds how you're going to push, or if you have to change your heavy to a soldier and your sniper to a scout, you simply don't have time to push there. This is elementary TF2 here. Like, you cannot do these mistakes.
Yeah, big downside of running those off classes, especially in like a equal Uber situation. But here we see middle underway. Both TLR soldiers going in and trying to kill off Spud. It seems like they have identified him as the key to Dog success. Now the scouts of Herpy and Nick are able to move forward with the full heals from Serotonin. Nation is trying to jump in. He's fearless here. This is a difficult task, but he's managed to kill off one scout. Now he needs his shotgun aim to be true. Kratos, whip out that Uber, so help your boy here. Nation's going to reload. Herpy jumps onto the crate. He's just dancing around him here, but gets stunned in the air. Nation with the air shot. Where's your shotgun, buddy? He's going to let him crater. No, Kratos kills him off with the crossbow bolt. And I cannot believe that Nation won that fight. I've been underestimating this guy. He just had massive balls there, man, and he made it work.
Yeah, Kratos with the ulti duo skills as well, kind of like getting in front of him when he got weak and taking the shots. Well, the shots that would have been shots if Herpy had hit them. But we do have an Uber trade now. TLR again playing very ballsy, not giving up this mid without a fight. And AMS' Uber is not really very successful. If they can just shut out the rest of the TLR like repush, then this is going to be a solid mid for them. But bloody hell, Serotonin just got caught in. How did that happen? I have no idea, but not a very well timed exit from Serotonin. Gets caught on the choke, bounce back in, and things are looking a lot better for Dogs now. After kind of floundering for a few rounds, they have the chance to get back into this game now. His currently sticking in window, quite overextended on grass. Like, if they choose to push lower, his could be in trouble at the moment.
Go for it, Dogs. Heist turns his attention onto the combo here. Spud's taking a lot of damage. Heist is surely yelling it out, and Herpy is going to follow up on that. Demo man down right now for Dogs. They have to retreat a little bit here. Even though they have this Uber advantage, TLR will be well aware that they don't have it just yet, so this is an opportunity for TLR if they want to, but oh, look at this, they all go scurrying back to their medic here. It looks like they're doing the team huddle on
Both
their tree, and
teams-
opportunity missed.
Both teams doing weird things, to be honest. I mean, Dogs stayed so far forward here. I personally think My impression is they should have gone further back there, let TLR come into mid if they wanted to, and not really contest without a demo until they have Uber. But yeah, TLR, like you say, also doing probably the wrong thing in that situation and just playing back. We do see now the Uber popped and coming in on the left side. Captain going down early, not really impressing so far on Scout, and Alfie dead as well, and suddenly Kratos is in no man's land. There's a triple back cap going on as well. Dogs are really floundering here. They need to get out as fast as they can, or at least take Serotonin with them and have hope for the rest of the game. But they are cleaning up some frags. Serotonin's going to go down, so it's going to be okay. They've lost mid, but God, this game is so stretched at the moment. Both scouts, no, one scout, no, all three are on CP4 at the moment, and they're going to cap it out. But I mean, if they can just clean them up, they can like take control of this middle. They kept their medic alive, but it's become so messy, James. For the love of God, bail me out of this horrendous moment of casting amateurism.
They are trying to deal with this like you, man. They have been bamboozled. TLR pulled the wool over their eyes briefly. The end result was that they took control of middle. They had that CP4 for a few seconds, but it has changed back into Dog's hands. Pause, should I say?
Oh.
No, please, tag me out here. My days are numbered. Here comes... shut up, man. Here comes Danger Dogs. You want my caster this season title? You couldn't have it! But they're walking past Stickies here. Oh, it's okay. They have.
Nico's going for the back cap again. He's already through on grass. He's going to start the back cap. We go round 2, back cap Reno. They're going for the stack, which is a really, really risky decision. Now they're bailing out of it. Spudd going back alone. Not going to get there in time. It's important he doesn't die. Hits the one pipe, but needs to not die here.
Oh, to help his medic.
Oh, Spudd! Fight, but they're all alone. He needs to get out of there. Don't think about frags. Scout's already going lower to last. Spudd's seen him, but I don't think there's anything he can really do about it, I'm not gonna lie. Oh wait, no! What? The Scout didn't go to last, even though there's no one there. I guess they're playing the slow game, they pretty much got this round.
That's RP, man, you know, he's just, it's like chess to him. Now he's Ubered here on the point, there's just like an army of red players here, it's like zombie mode here for RP. He's trying to gun down this wave. And he seems to be doing a great job as Ams comes in and steals his last frag, but RP was on a 5k streak there. And it's just a solid round coming out from TLR. They really punished Dogs hard there. Like, you're totally right, man. They should not have stayed on that mid fight. Like, one player can just get on the point and block, no matter how many players or how good your health is.
Yep. We're back on another mid. The mid's not been going so well for Dogs in the last 2 or 3. We're seeing them switch their approach, playing more from the right now, normally typically playing from the left. And Kratos goes down early, but they do actually get both soldiers, so there's the opportunity for a clean-up here, but it's not really going their way. Their health quite bad for Dogs at this point. Captain's in deep, 26 HP. Can he make anything happen? I don't think so. Wow, hiss with the double pipe on Nation. You don't see that very often, but Nation getting completely shut down there, not able to make anything happen, and Serotonin's going to survive. Only the initial losses of AMS and Shadowburn for the entire mid, and that's pretty much their game plan. Like I said, those soldiers are pretty much disposable. Losing both those soldiers is just like killing both those soldiers for Dogs is a prerequisite. Like if you don't do that, you have no chance. And yeah, not able to really do anything off the back of it this time.
This is a definite change in the dynamic of the game after we saw Dogs taking a 2 lead. They've had some ups and downs, but most recently those two back caps, one ended up with a round for Nico eventually, but I mean, like, they've really been pulled all over the place right now, and Uber coming in from TLR after that dominant mid. They haven't really found any fags initially, but this... oh, Spudd goes down, in fact. There's no stickies on the point right now, but Alfie is poised to block. Meanwhile, the attention of TLR switched up to the left-hand side, and they have found the frags they needed. And I think Captain has just ruined their chances here. Ever since he joined the server, it's been all one-way traffic for TLR.
Yep.
What a garbage gamer.
I don't know, Dogs have been making some kind of strange mistakes. I mean, those backcaps themselves, especially the second one. Nico just was in kitchen and walked through choke and went for the backcap. No one covering, cleaning out areas. Maybe that's part of Captain not having a regular players causing these problems. We are back on another mid. Dogs really need to get something out of this mid. Ever since these mids went the wrong way. Spudd again is the first to die. That's kind of been the symptom of the last few mids as well, going down early. But Serotonin's actually been taken down this time, which bodes a lot better for them. Healthy scout still for Dogs, but they're all alone. They need to back out, staying in too long. Sheepy thinking about more frags, but not keeping his eye on the scoreboard. Kraus with the arrow frag.
Go for the block, man. Kill Nico.
He's all alone. Like, I don't think they really know where he is. Now they find him, but he's screwed. He should have typed kill a long time ago. But
and Spudd's come out on the respawn. Shadowburn had his back to him. Heist gets the frag onto Kratos, but Captain on Spudd Just they missed the fact that Nico juked behind him. Nico's going to win 1-1v1, wins another, and he's making these kids look silly. He's calling for backup. Heist comes flying in. It's the air cavalry, and the rest of dogs are just like, oh my god, what just happened there? Kratos probably should have killed himself long ago. He has just respawned though. He's going to go crits, but with Serotonin going down the middle, it's not really going to be a huge uber disadvantage.
Yeah, I mean, if you think of this uber advantage now, it's what, like 40%? If Kratos had killed himself when it first became apparent that he had no chance of getting out, this would be like a 20% differential at the moment, which is very, very easily dealt with, especially on Snakewater. So, mistake by Kratos. Seen a few of them tonight, but I mean, dogs need to dig their heels in.
It's his first season on Medic. Oh, here comes an Uber from Roller. RP gets juggled up a little bit. Nation's soaking up a lot of damage there as the heavy weapons guy. But again, TLR have shown excellent awareness, just immediately switching their attention to the flank there. They're really stacking it with those healed and Ubered players. And dogs are making it just a little bit too easy. I think when you're defending last like that, you need to try and be creative, like maybe step in behind them. Don't all just stand in one spawn door or the other.
Yep.
There are definitely solid ways to hold that Snakewater last. It is doable.
Yeah, they're certainly allowing themselves to get pushed out and into spawn far too easily on those lasts at the moment. More about that later. We are back on another mid. And like I said last, we do really need to see something big for dogs here if they have any chance of coming back into that game. And it's looking better for them. Currently in control of the health and in control of the numbers, it's pretty even, but they have been pushed out deep on choke. Nico pushing deep, takes down Spudd, probably going to get Kratos as well. Will do, in fact, maybe Kratos again. Just type kill! For the love of God, man!
He's got it, he's got it, he's got backup coming. It's reinforcements. Sheepy and Captain have met up with Kratos here on green, but Kratos has baited them out. Oh, he left his boys hanging there, and he won't even get his crits up. He's surely going to go down. What? He survived just a little bit. 1 health! Oh, but RP's going to come in behind, and Heist is there as well. TLR really come in for this medic pick, and they have got it, and continue to pump out the damage here on 2. It's a very scrappy fight. Alfie's running around with his escape plan out, but will get shut down. Oh, 20-second spawn. Disgusting. Kratos respawns. They'll have heals at least, but they're about to be facing a huge uber advantage push here from TLR. I'm going to jump into their comms, man. It's been a long time.
I've got that top right watched. I don't have left or cheese.
I'm here.
Okay, let's go under me and AMS, okay? This time, we're going to try this. Nico, sit just behind us. Use
I'm
this
just
as a
try
shield.
walking because I don't use sniper.
Okay, we're going in.
Top left behind each other.
Okay, use.
Scout left side.
Wait.
Okay, focus on the... Focus right side, AMS. Focus.
Go through first. I'm gonna follow.
Okay, go point. It took good damage.
Sorry,
Right.
oh my.
You can still focus, guys. They just played so
Scott,
passive.
I'm dead, guys.
Kill medic, AMS. Kill medic.
Only
That's the
45,
key.
only 45 floor.
De är säkert
Kill
left.
it. Fuck. Go for the med on the right, Nico. He's on the back right. Go top. Yeah. That's good.
No.
I spawn sniper now. Gonna back
Yeah,
myself
we
a bit
didn't.
more.
They just were so passive, AMS. Sorry, I should have
Yes.
milked the Uber a bit longer.
I didn't play that very
Look at Nico. Look at Nico.
Med's on the point now. Med's on point.
Nico's on last, but he's found himself in a 2v1. He's going to get shut down. And we do see Danger Dogs capping too and moving forward here. They have heard RP firing off a shot, so they know the sniper's up, kaidus.
Yep, but they're in a good position. I mean, this is one of the easier points to probably take for free. They are going the right route of kitchen. They're popping out. That's kind of questionable. I think they had enough space to get pressure on the sniper. No one was really playing full for TLR there. And this is kind of a nothing Uber. They're just going to take middle here. But really not a lot going for TLR, only on 30%. And with a sniper, there's the potential to just push fast here. Go fast and hard, use the sniper to your advantage. Don't let him get shots off. But, yeah, but that's what I would do in this situation. 4 minutes left on the clock and they need 3 rounds. It looks like they're going to try something, but Nation's in alone at the moment. The follow-up from Spud's coming a little bit late. Nation's already down. Alfie's died elsewhere. And this push is a calamity. They need to back up, get out, and kind of conserve what resources they have left now.
They probably could have just pushed on in that Uber like TLR would have done to them, like really committed.
Yep.
I reckon they would have made it through the choke points just as the Uber faded and would have been in a position to, you know, take a pretty even fight there, but they eventually sent in 2 soldiers. It didn't work for them, and now they're retreating here. The fact they used their Uber so early meant they weren't really at that much of a disadvantage when it had faded out, all things being said, but with 90%, Kratos is just making it into the lobby. Serotonin's popped his charge off, and Nation is not going to make it out, but Kratos has a hail target here. He's going to be able to get his charge up.
Happy's capping mid as sniper. I'm not sure what happened there, but Happy's currently there capping at the moment. So this is a really comfortable fight for Dogs on 2. Like, they can push them out and retake this mid almost immediately if they play their cards right. Hiss going down, Uber still held. This is looking really good for Dogs. They just have to worry about the sniper. They might have forgotten about him because Happy was actually back on mid capping, and they have completely forgotten about him. And he kills Kratos. Oh, for the love of God, I feel bad for them. But yeah, well played to Happy. Little bastard.
Oh man, like Kratos showed great composure there, not popping the charge when his scouts were looking to chase down those frags. But I suppose if he'd been paying attention, he could have remembered about that sniper. But can't really fault the decision. Currently, though, TLR are loving this change of fortunes. They are finding tons of frags there around the saw room. Nico dancing around and setting it up for Amps. TLR are looking to push forward here with a current 5-2 scoreline. It could soon be 6-2. Nation just about to respawn. They will have 6 players on the field, but the blue guys are invulnerable and shiny. They can't do damage to them right now, but somehow Heist gets gunned down by Sheepy, and whoa, air shots coming out there. Maybe, just maybe, Dogs can hold on. It's just Nico and Serotonin left alive. Nico is going to have to find some huge amounts of damage. Serotonin probably needs to go for the melee if he wants to make it happen, or he's going to run.
Oh,
Whoa,
that's
what?
poor.
What? Nico!
That's poor.
Nico! Nico!
I mean, I gotta say well played to Nico, but that's so poor from Dogs. Alfie had the high ground, like it was rockets like 101. I mean,
Spudd tried to chase the medic frag, but they could have just focused the scout. The medic pick was inconsequential there.
Nico should have been dead already though. I mean, Alfie's just standing above him, raining rockets down, like pretty close range with high advantage, and just missing over and over again. And it's not like Nico was purposely dodging. I thought it was a guaranteed frag, but yeah, this is all over for Dogs. 1 minute left on the clock, 4-round deficit. Maybe they can take a round to kind of, save some face a bit. Because again, the scoreline's pretty harsh on them. Up until the last 10 minutes, last 15 minutes, they were looking really strong. Arguably the better team for the first half. Arguably, I don't remember exactly where the turnaround came in, but a good mid for Dogs. Maybe going to take a consolation round here. Full wipe, full crits advantage for last. Yeah.
Yeah, the turnaround came in at 2-0 Dogs. They've lost 6 rounds without response here. Yeah, we're at dead time. 40 seconds left on the clock. He's looking to pad his sniper stats for the season, but he's just going to be feeding Sheepy instead. Will get gunned down. Crits actually coming in lower, or in the lobby in fact. Nation is going to kill off Heist, then Amps with some big crit rockets. He opens that roller door, but seems intimidated by Shadowburn up on that corrugated iron fence. He's going to arch around and kill off Alfie. Can Dogs get a round on the board? 15 seconds left. They're throwing bodies onto the point here. P's coming in blindside at Captain. It's all on Spudd here. 8, 7, Spudd 4 health against 3 players. Whoa.
Oh, Spudd, what a beast! And Sheepy's in. Oh no, no time left.
Oh my god, that was crazy.
What a beast.
Kids are pretty good these days, man. I'm glad I don't play anymore. It would be embarrassing. But that's going to end 6-2 in favour of the last resort here. Let's take a look at the logs, kaidus, because the numbers know more than we do.
Yeah, I want to see how bad Captain did. Jesus Christ. He completely sold his team out there. Not his team, but coming in for Scrab, but not delivering. Actually saying that Scrab went 2 for 6 until he disconnected, so not really a lot to live up to.
You had Captain out on a loan deal there, but it's probably not going to... It's not going to stick. He'll be back with you tomorrow morning, I'm guessing.
I have Captain on my fantasy team, so I'm actually going to get bonus points for this. Even though he did go 13 and 15, he also got 5 caps, 115 damage. It's going to be a positive input on the fantasy boards overall.
That is cheeky. Big. The scouts of TLR top fragging here, 28 and 27 for Nico and P respectively. But who was the standout performances for you?
I think Spudd. Spudd really stood out for me. Like, as an overall game, he probably could have asserted more control. I think that will come with time when he plays, these situations, these teams, this level of play more. But some really, really outstanding individual moments from Spudd, along with mostly solid play for the rest of the game. And there was a few moments that weren't so great. But I think Spudd really stood out for me this game. Obviously, the scouts for TLR, Nico with a huge game, and yeah, Nico. I think best KAD, most caps, most fantasy points from this game, most likely. But Am's not looking so great on the KD front, but I mean, this has been pretty typical of their Snakewater games. Like I say,
14 air shots though. 14 air shots.
Yeah. But the soldiers on mid for T, like the big rounds for TLR were kind of, there was some fast rounds in there if I'm not mistaken. I'm just gonna have a quick look. Yeah, like kind of in the middle of the game, they took a 1 minute 36 round, a 1 minute 58 round. These were a lot of kills were coming in, and Ams is just one of the guys. He gets thrown in on the mid. and he's just chucked into the meat grinder and his team clean up after that. So his KD not looking great, but his damage showing that he's doing his job, like performing that role reasonably well.
I must mention as well, I'm pretty sure if there's a lot of pauses in a game, the per minute stats get a little bit messed up, or at least that used to be the way it was. So if you're looking at those numbers and thinking they're underwhelming, don't be alarmed.
There was a lot of stalemates in this game as well. I mean, like the damage per minute is always kind of questionable when you're looking at matches on like Snake Water and stuff. I mean, we had a lot of like lengthy kind of stalemates, and then there was pauses in those times as well. So they just extend the stalemates because once you get once you unpause, it's like you don't go immediately. Nation also had a good game. Like he had some moments. Like we noticed a moment with him on mid, just him and his medic taking out Hair P and someone else beforehand.
Nico, two fully buffed scouts, man.
Yeah, and a big crits play at the end as well to take the consolation round. I mean, it says, they didn't take the round at the end, did they? But to set up the consolation round, had it come off. But like solid play overall. I mean, I don't know. Like you can see just by looking at the logs. Like if you look at like the rounds, kind of the turning point came. Like it went 3-2, and then their heads just dropped. They lost 2 fast rounds, and that's how it happens when you play the best of the best. But
there's a new meme. Why was Lupus fake nicking as captain?
That's a bit harsh.
It's a new bind you need, mate, to motivate your team. I can't believe this game took so long. It's already 5 to 10. Let's get these interviews underway. So I'm going to drag in some more players. We don't want too many here. We've got Heist in the channel. We've got Hair P. We've got Kratos. I'm going to bring in Alfie. Yeah, bringing in Alfie. Surprise Alfie.
Oh, sorry, I was talking about stuff.
Too bad, mate. So let's move on to the interview segment here. We got 2 players from each team, Alfie and Kratos, and Heist and Hair P. Kaidus, who do we want to talk to first?
I don't know.
I'm going to ask Heist, were you expecting as much fight from Danger Dogs by TFCpickup.net?
Yeah, we was. Yeah, we played a PCW once against them, and it was actually a really close game. So yeah, we was expecting it.
Hold on, I've been told to drag in Spudd as well. So Spudd, you're now live on Channel 4. Don't say fucker bugger.
Okay, I can do that.
Heist, how did you feel your team performance went overall? Then were you happy, to play the Brazilian style? You didn't care if you were going to lose a few goals, but you were going to score more than them.
Well, we kind of had to resort to that because we tried to play slow, and they actually played it better than us because they already had the lead, especially on Snakewater. So I think AMS just sort of said to me, like, what are we doing? Like, this isn't our style, and then we just totally switched it, and it seemed to work better when that unpause and the switch came, and we had time to just say, yeah, let's go for it, really.
Balls deep.
More people want to be in the interview here, and I don't want to rain in anyone's parade. Nation, I've been told you wanted to join the interview. Tell us your thoughts on the game.
It was amazing. Like, I didn't want to play tonight, but when I heard that we're gonna play against Seraton, I kinda cancelled everything.
Dedicated, committed gamer.
Is he your nemesis? What's the issue?
He likes to kill him.
Yeah, he is like my best buddy in the game right now. So if I don't play with him, I just want to kill him. It's like my personal deal.
Okay, I'm really glad we brought you into this interview. Spudd, you also demanded to be brought into the interview. Can you outdo Nation on the interest factor here?
Yeah, sure. That was, I think, personally speaking, that was like the second most fun official I've ever had. The first being with C-Play, I think it was 2 seasons ago or something, where we had Big Headhunter and Nethug and Turbo and all that. So shout outs to the old C-Play. But yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed that game. The change of pace from TLR like really took it up a level. Like I mean, for them to bring it back from like 2-0 down, like you could just tell as a team the dynamic was just there.
They changed a lot.
Yeah, the momentum just like that call from AMS to just like kind of nudge Hiss and say like come on man, pull your finger out. And yeah, we definitely felt the pressure a lot in that. So well played to TLR.
Yeah, we were pretty much in agreement that the scoreline probably didn't do justice to Danger Dogs. But Spudd, you definitely have a new fan. I think he was a fan before the game anyway, but kaidus was singing your praises. How does that make you feel? The Devil Man of the season thinks you are up to scratch.
Yeah, it's good to have a loyal follower. Yeah, kaidus is from like the town over from me, so it's kind of interesting that we're like 7 miles or something from each other and both in Prem. It's just
something in the water.
It's something in the water. It must be, but no, it's great to kind of have have eyes on you, specifically in a game like this. Yeah, no, it's exciting to say the least.
You seem to be really euphoric right now. I get the feeling like even though you guys, technically got smashed, you're taking a lot of positives away from this game.
I think that stems heavily from the fact that we have been. Oh wait, no, I can't swear, can I? Okay. We were pretty much handed our ass in I think.
The past week we've been
days,
in a rut,
yeah.
like a really bad rut where we've been getting 5-0'd and had really bad games and been emo and mumble. But today it was one of our best games, I think, in a long time.
Yeah, so
and I'm happy.
Yeah, I'd echo that, and it's good for us moving forward. Like we really needed this, Although we took the loss, whatever, that's fine. But you kind of have to look forward now into the upcoming games where we can pick up some big points against some big teams and hopefully make a name and secure a 4th spot. I think is what we're aiming for. We even lost 5-0 to Fenix. Like, jeez, that was a hard loss. Like,
shots fired here.
Yeah, but it's something to look forward to. I'm looking forward to that game in week 6 or something like that. So hopefully we'll just get better and better from there.
We're going to work on.
Herr P, can you answer a question for me? I want to know, why was Lupus fake nicking as captain?
I don't know. I think Lupus would have done better though. No, but in reality, captain was doing alright at the end. So it's mean to call him Lupus, and it's mean to Lupus. Like he got ways to improve. He's gonna be good one day.
It's totally way harder, I think, than people can imagine to come into a game like this halfway through. That you have no real idea of the ebb and the flow of the game.
Yeah.
You're just kind of coming in dry, probably not warm. A scout he doesn't main, so
another captain apologist. Oh my god.
No, it's the same for anyone. If you come into a game halfway through, it's going to take you 5 minutes or 10 minutes, to get up to the pace of the game. Especially coming on a class you don't really play that often at this level. I mean, I said earlier, we've been using captain a bit on scout when we've been pre-season playing Viaduct, but it's a whole different, thing to come into a 5 CP map on a class you don't really play at that level, or at least don't play regularly at that level,
Yeah.
For sure. RP, can you offer us any insight into, was Nico affected whenever Sheepy killed him on the Badlands battlements and then taunted him?
I would like to call Sheepy out for unsportsmanlike behavior, but that would be like saying that rain is wet. Otherwise, I don't know. Both maps kind of started out it felt like we had some time to get it going. It felt like the same when we played our warm-ups too. We won easily, but it just wasn't there at the start, and especially on Snakewater, which we haven't really gone through or anything. So we didn't really have ideas for what we wanted to do. And then when we just kind of kicked in a gear, I think I went from being 5-13, not hitting a single shot, to just kind of going up 28-15 or something in the end. So it felt good after that, but we just kind of were losing the DM fights. We didn't have anyone's calling or anything. It was really weird going into it after winning the first map. All the fucking bosses.
Who did you have the most trouble dealing with yourself, RP? Who stood out for you on the dog side?
Not really anyone. It was just you would get into a stupid you would get flanked instead of being the one flanking when you went in, and that's just then you're doing something wrong. So yeah, it was just, and I think we just kind of focused it badly at the start and let it get us.
So how's coming out of this game then? Have you got a little checklist of things you want to work on? What were the fly in the ointment for TLR? What do you need to improve for your big games against Reason? Is it week 3?
To be honest, it's always been middles. We've been working on them on Badlands a little bit, because we had a game where we played ZZ and we lost 9 mids out of 10 and we only won 1. And we actually kind of made a video of it and just watched through it, and then we seem to be doing better on Badlands mids, because last time we played them, we drew 4-4, I think, on Badlands. We were getting rolled, like, because we'd lose our medic and their medic would stay alive. And you saw that in the beginning on some of the maps as well, like on Badlands especially. But I was quite happy with Badlands because we've worked on it, but Snakewater and other maps, we just haven't had time to do it. Been a bit disrupted the last week with our team. And as you know, we've had 3 soldiers now, so that doesn't really help. So I think just working on the mids would be a big benefit for us, and just not losing our medic and them keeping their medic alive.
And we've been a bit off it too because we didn't have Serotonin here. The start of the week, so we played like one night. We played with Diabol, Kratos, and Gareba like on 4 maps. So going into this, like we had talked a lot about what we wanted to do, but just hadn't had the whole team there to do it.
Who's the best out of those 3 medics? I'm curious.
I would say Diabol.
Not Grabber, people Zero?
Not to put any rain on like Wonderland's Parade, but I don't think the strength in that team is in their medic. And I'm saying that since he dropped like an Uber truck hits and shit like that. Like inexcusable stuff, Admirable, you should know this as medic.
Oh, I think you're an idiot. How about that?
I think you're a potato.
I've got you on my fantasy team here, P.
Poor bastard.
You delivered. You really played a strong cap game there. I think you had 15 on Badlands, but Nico stole all the caps on Snakewater. Are you thinking, how does it feel in the Premiership now, guys, whenever you have people's fantasy team dreams riding on your backs? Does that weigh in your mind here, P?
Is that any difference from having the ELO last season? Like last season you had to take BCW seriously because people would just like add you and be like, oh, why did your ELO go down? And like that's just ridiculous really. And now it's just the same, like you've always had to play officials good, so it doesn't really change anything, except that you can go like 30k in the chat every time you kill Skeech, because it's not over. It's worth that, I guess.
Multiple shots fired. Officer down. I'm gonna wrap things up here, guys. I'm sorry, I need to go. I think we could stay and talk for quite a while. It's interesting, but the end result was TLR took it over 2 maps. Dog showed a lot of fight, but didn't emerge at any points this time around. This has been Team Fortress TV with Admirable, kaidus, DavidTheWin. We've been joined for interview by Alfie, Herpre, Heis, Kratos, Nation, and Spudd. But that's going to be it for tonight. There'll be a lot more Euro games coming up. Just keep an eye on teamfortress.tv/schedule. And we'll get those up there. But I think, kaidus, the game going to be on Tuesday?
99% Tuesday, yeah. It's not locked in. I need to wait till I can speak to everyone, but pretty much going to be Tuesday.
Okay, so Tuesday, mark that down. Put a little question mark there in your diaries, guys. That's going to be it. Thanks to everyone who came here for interview. I'm going to let you do your shoutouts, but I'm just going to drop the mic and walk away. Peace.
Bye, Baldy.